Hello and welcome to the CEO finals of the LBLCS. I am joined here today by Buggleberry Finn, the owner himself, founder of this league. And today we will be seeing Titan Gaming throw down with Solar Flare.
Yeah, I'm pretty pumped about this matchup that we have here tonight. Not having first seed in a couple of the finals, respectively, the executive and the CEO, just makes it more entertaining. I think a lot more people are rooting for just both teams. So I don't know who's going to win, and I don't know who's going to take it, but I'm going to tell you that MZ Shady on Solar Flare has been looking like one of the best players in the league.
Now, I agree completely. Having laned against him, he's so good. He doesn't really allow room for mistakes, and the few that he lets through, his team is covering for him. But I also can't say much different about Almost a Dozen, who the second playoff just started picking the carry junglers and he bought a huge backpack off of Amazon and was like, all right, guys, get in, right?
Get in.
And then like game 3 against the Glue Eaters, like that was a full team effort. Like stepped up, Flak Pack, he was down almost 130 CS and he was tilt proof. He persevered through it. He came out on top, right? Like they're a team that really came together through might just be one of the better junglers, like best junglers in the league.
Yeah, I mean, we're going to witness basically every single member, though, be able to shine here. It's a best of 5 series, so we're going to see who actually is ready today. Obviously, you can have off days, but when you're sitting in here, if each team wins one game in the first two, we know we're in for a really long series. We saw a pretty short series across the board in executive and economy, but I think this is at least a 4-game series, if not a 5.
Yeah, I think 4 at minimum. There's so many power picks on each team as well that like needs to be kept in mind about banning and like maybe like for example, we saw how dominant Almost a Dozen Shyvana was in game 2 against the Glue Eaters in semis, right? So
Yeah.
if Solar Flare doesn't respect that and Dozen's able to get on that Shyvana and do exactly what he did against the Glue Eaters, then that's instantly a game point
Yeah,
for
and
Titan Gaming.
I think when you're at this level of play too, like it's like one of a couple things. One, TG Boom also has his incredibly good pick, and it's just like meta really good. Like his Aphelios is crazy. It's absolutely bonkers. We saw it carry some games earlier in the playoffs, and it has the potential to do it again. They're on blue side, and I think that's a pretty safe first pick. I'm interested in why Solar Flare elected red side. It might be to give that full counter to MZ or Vezu. Um, who we know will switch spots occasionally. They never intentionally do it going into draft, but we do see them lined up. Can't see it on the stream right now, but MZ is lined up to go top in game 1. So we'll see if that's where he ends up.
Yeah, it's definitely. I think that is why they're picking red side because as somebody that did face Solar Flare previously in the bracket, the thing that we were trying to attack was Vesu's small champion pool. So we got rid of the Azir, we got rid of the Orianna, we got rid of the Cassiopeia, or we'd find a way to where that wasn't playable. And what they would end up doing was MZ Shady just went mid.
Yeah, they
Right?
rotated their
And then
solo
Vesu
laners.
has a small champ pool top as well, so you can't just attack that one weakness, singular weakness. But I
Right.
think that's still not optimal to how they want to play against another team in the finals, right?
Right.
Because they can pretty much skill check their quarter and semifinals match, but in the finals it's like, well, they also beat the other half of the league you didn't face, so you automatically have to respect that. And it's like, we don't want Vesu top if we don't have to when our top laner is MZ Shady. So
Right.
giving him last pick is always going to give him a favorable matchup.
There's also just some map advantages to playing on the red side too, right? You have the openness of the Dragon Pit area, which we might see them focus down on that bot side a lot. We've seen both of these jungles kind of hover around their mid laners, in my opinion, although Almost a Dozen has been bonkers with farming and just outpacing the other junglers in this league all season and in playoffs. We do have a pro draft that is going to be started up pretty soon. So we're going to see where those bans that we're talking about are going to end up. I think you're going to see Almost a Dozen and MZ pulling probably the majority of bans in the first 3 from each side. So Solar Flare and Titan Gaming seeded 3rd and 4th, about to duke it out here on the Rift.
One thing that I would just like to predict right now is I imagine that the first bans for each team will be Alawi and Italy.
I would think those get banned at some point in the first in the first round of bans. I don't think you can let Nidalee through for almost a dozen, and I don't think you can let Alawi through on MZ Shady. We did see that not only can he play it, he can play it in top or mid. So that's like still flexible for their soul laners being able to rotate. We also just saw how dominant it was. Looks like the two teams are discussing whether or not they're going to start. Let's see if we can give a little soft push.
We can allow the draft to take its course. I will put the pro draft up on the screen right here for you guys.
Boom. There it is. Boom. Along with, you have 6,000 tabs open on your computer.
I do have a lot of tabs. Well, I'll talk about them while we wait for draft to start. You start at the bottom left. There's File Explorer, which is pretty generic. It helps me navigate things. Google Chrome is for the pro draft.
Makes sense. So
League of Legends for the stream. Discord for the stream. Spotify, who can't appreciate some good music? Obviously not on stream because of the harsh DMCAs from Twitch, but nonetheless, off stream, I can enjoy my music. Microsoft Teams, I do have a school going through the summer. Settings, my internet, actually draft is starting, it doesn't matter.
Alright, didn't get to finish that. Let's see how draft does go. Of course, you're expecting the Alawi and the Nidalee fans to come through.
Right
I'm also expecting I'm also expecting Aphelios to be banned.
Yeah, I think Aphelios might be a first ban as well. There's a small chance they just leave the Nidalee open completely, because although almost a dozen's good at it, it's pretty simple to just counter.
Yeah, it's also, you almost can too if you leave something like a big pick open, like, okay, maybe we don't have to ban it, maybe we can try to play around it, knowing that they will take it if it is up.
Interestingly enough, the Nocturne being the thing that they're scared of, and Olaf ban comes out, and I'm a huge fan of this. Mask Link has been on Olaf all season.
Yeah. Force him onto something a little bit different. And the set is also banned. So the Nidalee is open, although it's not usually a safe first pick, especially because Solarflare could build a very tanky team, or draft it rather. Kind of make her more of a support later on if she's unable to pop off early. Although it's almost a dozen, I would expect he'd be able to.
I mean, Shyvana's open, but I think you just want to first pick ADC or support here. Don't do anything too fancy out of the gate. Just get it down. Yeah, Ashe first pick coming in. So already, though, they've denied like 4 big picks going in. But I really like the Vladimir for MZ Shady. He's good at it. He can play safe. But already you have like a really hard scaling team on Solar Hunks, which gives... Or Solar Flare, sorry, not Solar Hunks, is reading the pro draft.
I know.
Gives a huge... Like, Solar Flare will outscale eventually, but if Titan Gaming can just draft like a really strong early to mid from this point, it doesn't matter if you can scale or not, right? Like, Soul is another scaler. Picking up the Karma here, that's honestly a support mid flex. I'd imagine it's going support with the Ashe. Karthus getting picked up. Now, you were talking earlier, I don't remember if it was on stream or not, but about almost a dozen's just pure farming prowess and how you can just keep up with farm. And what other champion to just farm forever on than with Karthus?
Yeah, I would expect Karthus jungle. Now, there were Karthus mid buffs that came through, and technically jungle nerfs, right? They reduce damage of the Q to monsters. But I would expect it to be jungle still.
And I believe the intended nerfs, though, still made them slightly stronger in the jungle, even all considered, if I'm not mistaken.
Because just the damage increases?
Yeah.
Okay.
So even though it's like, it's kind of like when they intended to buff Syndra, and they just made her awful to play. Cassiopeia ban coming out. So now Vesu's champ pool is kind of pinched again, and MZ Shady already has his champ locked in. Like, I'm 90% positive the Vlad is going to MZ Shady, but he could take the Vlad mid.
Well, he could also go, like, MZ probably is on the Vladimir, but he could be in any lane. And so now you have to be careful of how you're banning, because Solar Flare can just rotate where Vezu is. Okay, now he's going to play the Mord top. They're going to ban away the Graves instead. They're going to focus on the one lane they know they can really hit here and force him onto the Volibear, I think. I think that's jungle.
Yeah, I think it is Volibear jungle as well.
I like that you guys are rooting for a Economy League team that is not even in playoffs. That didn't win it anymore. I don't know if I enjoy that we're rooting for it. As Sion is going to be hovered right now by Titan Gaming, and it is going to be locked in. Round out their composition here with their final pick. I
think they need really heavy burst in the mid.
Yeah.
Because Vlad can just chill forever. I mean, like, Karthus has pretty good burst, but, like, even more. Like, Vlad needs to die fast.
Lissandra's okay. I like it.
Yeah, she's not bursty, but she locks them down, which gives you more time to actually have DPS. I'm okay with that.
You're lacking. I know you have Ashe, but you have like this follow-up CC now where you can kind of go all in with your team. Karthus becomes like this now. Now is your real AP carry, and Lissandra's kind of like this bruiser AP carry that is going to go in and try to hold people still, try to grab this Ezreal, grab this Nami. It's going to force a QSS on Ezreal, which is good.
And the Orianna coming in for Vesu, so already mid's pretty much a stalemate.
Yeah, it's going to be honestly, I'm intrigued on how little almost a dozen, or I'm sorry, what is it now? What did you change his name to? TG in 3, maybe his name 4 or 5.
Yeah, I think it's okay to just keep calling him almost a dozen.
Yeah, on this card, this is just going to like power farm, right? So how much will he impact this early game? Or rather, how much will Masslink impact the early game, and can they punish the fact that Karthus probably won't be showing up?
Yeah, I think Volibear's pretty underrated right now in the jungle as well. Most teams, even pro teams, are tending to play him top, but I just think that he has like everything that you need for a jungler, especially with the kind of team that Masklink has around him.
I think Masklink knows his solo laners are bonkers.
Yeah. Mobron has been really good on the enchanters as well, like really helps denying any form of engage getting onto his team.
And we switch over to the real draft that is happening right now, guys. So they are hopefully going to pick and ban the same way that they did in the pro draft. I think we need to switch it over on the stream, being called for it.
It is switch.
Oh man, CEO, dude. What's your predictions for this game? What's your predictions for the series? What are you thinking, Zoe?
I'm not comfortable making a full prediction, as much of a cop-out as it is. I don't know if I want to make a full prediction.
I think your prediction of at least 4 games is already playing pretty safe here. I noticed that I don't know. I think that the scaling on Solar Flare in this game has a really big advantage, but then again, they don't have Karthus, and Karthus' scaling is at bonkers, right? So
yeah, I think you know what, maybe I'm gonna adjust it. I'm gonna say Solar Flare in 5.
You think Solar Flare in 5?
I think Titan Gaming wins this game.
I think Titan Gaming have drafted a comp in which winning the game is going to become easier because they get to play through their jungler a little bit more here, come mid game and late game. But you outstep or you misstep with this Ashe in the bot lane here. Orianna Volibear can blow you up. I mean, Volibear's big thing that we see him do in the LCS games is he gets onto the ADCs and he eliminates them. And now you're on a pretty immobile ADC. And yeah, you have some good CC throughout your team. You have really good zoning with Karthus, Lissandra, and Sion. But he just won't care. If you CC him, he just gets the Q again. So
I think Sion, Lissandra, Ashe is enough core DPS and peel for almost a dozen to just power farm and snowball. But it's important to lock down the Vladimir here. because Volibear does have pretty good backline access. Ori
Volibear is good.
isn't a mage to be messed with, and Ezreal's super safe.
Well, I was gonna say Vladimir and Ezreal are crazy slippery, right? Like they're difficult to get on and lock down, especially if this Ezreal gets that QSS item 3 here. And Mobron's Nami, we've seen how good this is in the playoffs already. The disengage that this provides for his team is massive. So if you are trying to turn a fight, it's going to be hard to actually catch the right person. I think you're probably catching Orianna or Volibear, and maybe that's what they want you to do. I think that the wave clear from the side of Titan Gaming is really strong, so it's gonna be hard to siege them here or even try to tower dive. I know you have the Volibear for it, but all of their characters can wave clear.
Yeah, I think this is overall pretty even, but I just think that Titan Gaming should be able to get priority over the Dragons. And if they get like a good soul on them, then I think they have a really good chance.
So, 3 dudes, Billy, saying Solar Flare 3-0s Titan Gaming. That'd be the third 3-0 of the finals that we've had in all 3 leagues. So I'm hoping that it's not a 3-0. And I honestly don't think it will be. Like, none of me says that one of these teams is that much better than the other.
Now, we did see a huge upset yesterday with Sensei Randall's. Now, do you think if Titan Gaming 3-0'd, it would be an even bigger upset?
No, and I think the mental of both of these teams that we have seen throughout shows that if they go down in game 1, that doesn't mean anything, or if they lose one game, it doesn't mean anything. I know Solar Flare had a couple 1-1s during the season, although I think in playoffs, have they clean sweep in playoffs every game?
Yes, they have not lost a game in playoffs so far.
Okay. I still don't think that they will have any type of mental. Oh no, this is bad. All of a sudden, what I am interested in is Titan Gaming, whether they win or lose, what side did they take next game and why? Because we've seen Solar Flare and some higher elo teams be drafting red side a lot.
I think people just like the safety of having last pick for their mid. Because the big thing with mid this season in particular is just who has the higher pushing power early is pretty much typically it's like a big impact of who wins the game.
Sure.
There's other factors that push towards it, but like when like 45% of your win condition comes from if you can outpush their mid at level 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like it's just nice to have that pick.
Yeah, and we've seen a lot of games be decided on this jungle mid proximity. How much is going on in this area? What are you able to do? Are you able to push your mid to get a little bit of a lead, and then can your mid impact the other lanes? These are 2 mid laners that can definitely take teleport. Whether or not they do, we will see. I would expect teleport on both of them though, and I would expect them to be impacting bot. I think bot really is where the action. I think top lane is probably going to be a farm lane. I think Karthus for the most part is going to be hard farming. It's going to be up to Orianna and Volibear to make things happen across the map for their team.
Yeah, I definitely think that they want to. TG wants to like both teams want to start off slow regardless, which I think, as far as Karthus is concerned, is an advantage to him because that gives them time to get farmed up before they're actually really contesting for anything. But I cannot like say this enough. If the game goes to a point where Vladimir and Ezreal didn't feel pressured and they get their items, it's going to be so hard to lock down Solar Flare.
Yeah, how do you feel about this bot lane? What do you think about this matchup here? This Ezreal Nami against Ashe Karma. I think it'd be really hard to bother Ezreal Nami.
Yeah, it's also pretty hard to like. Ashe Karma is always gonna have the push, which is nice, especially when your jungler isn't like a high skirmish jungle, because now any 1v1 can become a 3v1 or 2v1, right?
Sure.
Overall though, like both ADCs are kind of chilling. Like the Karma's gonna just be annoying, but so is the Nami. But they also have similar resources to stop the other from being annoying. So like Nami can just heal Karma poke, Karma can just shield Nami poke, and then it's pretty much just
right. I think both of them are taken for their ability to both engage and disengage pretty well. Obviously, it is going to be the teleport on Lissandra, but we're actually going to see a cleanse out of Orianna, which I think is a good thing because Ezreal's also taking it too. This means that like the need for that QSS on Ezreal is a little bit lower, right? The Ashe arrow, the Lissandra ults, you can cleanse right out of them and get moving again, which is going to be massive because if Titan Gaming start finding picks mid game, I think this could totally swing with how strong Karthus is going to become. Especially if they get the first 3 dragons, or even just the first couple dragons. Red side, I think, normally has prio, but if Titan Gaming can get the first couple, then or knock down mid tower early, then you're gonna see that be where all of the fights are. Skin game though, skin game strong on both sides.
But everybody on Solar Flare has a skin. Only 3 on Titan Gaming have a skin. So by nature of the game, Solar Flare is favored to win.
Solar Flare looking like they're going to take game 1 just based off the skins right now as we're loading in. Guys, this is the CEO League Finals. We're into our best of 5 tonight. We could be here for hours. We could be here for days. What do we got? Phase Rush. Phase Rush on Vezio and MZ looking normal. TG Hyperion is Flak Pack. If you've been watching earlier, if you're familiar with some players. TG in 3, maybe 4 or 5 is almost a dozen. As we see pings already coming out. Sion has not bought items yet though. There he goes, he's buying them now and everybody's gonna leave the base. We're seeing things getting dropped. He's actually gonna sell his items or undo his items and replace them. He's going for the pot start. 5 point. 5 point from everybody.
So, boring early game, and I think this kind of paces the
this
entirety of the early game for both teams. Because, like, the thing of it, like, you look at both teams, and, like, you think about, like, who can actually do something in this lane before level 6. You look at Sion, and you say, not really. You look at Karthus, and you say, no.
Nope.
Lissandra's like, maybe if your jungler can, but we already discussed Karthus, so no. And then you look at Ashe Karma, and it's like, maybe, but then you see that they have an Ezreal Nami, and it's just like, okay. And then
it's not Mass Link to do the early. Anything early game is to be Mass Link, right?
Volibear's like the only like early thing they have. But I think Volibear is a little broken right now, in my personal opinion.
We've seen a lot of these players pop off respectively in different games. I'm talking about all 10 of the people on the Rift right now. So we're going to see jungle start, and both of them going to start on their top side jungle. Karthus needing to start that blue, and Volibear starting on the red.
So matching the sides, which means that they will meet at Scuttle unless almost a dozen is willing to path back up, which is less favorable for the Karthus. But like we said, Ashe Karma should have priority, so maybe it could also lead to an early first blood.
Yeah, we're looking at a... I can't imagine that this game is impact. Like, nothing super crazy is happening early. We've talked about it a lot. We're going to keep talking about it because nothing's going to happen. We just want to talk about how right we are.
Yeah, we're always right. I mean, comps like this, though, they're so defined in what they want to do, which is like, it's both a strength and a weakness. Because, like, when your comp is, like, really identifiable of what to do, that means it's easier to execute. But it also means that it's easier to prepare against, right? So it's kind of a double-edged sword for comps like this. And that's why I think if it goes super late, it might be a slight advantage towards Solar Flare because of how how slippery Ezreal and Vladimir are. They actually can do like suboptimal things just to get a free kill or something, and then they could like cheat Baron off of it.
Yeah, we see Sion just having to chug pots in that lane as they're both just farming up everywhere we see it. We do see Karthus having the most CS in the game right now as he does his full jungle clear, and then he'll just back and do it again. Bot lane's gonna have a little bit of a trade, a little bit of extended one right here. As Brando's actually gonna drop the Ignite. Mobron dropping a little bit lower, has to drop himself his own heal that he took. But it's not gonna amount to anything.
And like that, Ashe Karma does have prio, which gets Karthus the Scuttle, but Volibear is actually coming in on Acid Step. Acid Step looks to just E away. He might have to burn the flash. He does burn the flash, and nothing's going to come of it. But there's a 5-minute window to kill mid now.
Yeah, but you're gonna be able to actually do it as Karthus looks like he is picking up that. Both junglers picking up a scuttle right now. Then trying to invade the jungle here. We see this Karthus knowing he's power farming and Volibear trying to power farm in response. But he's lurking the mid lane now. We could see a gank that flashes down. They know about it. Who's the first person to die this game?
Well, I could think of something worse than dying. I see Hyperion's CS going a bit lower, like further and further behind MZ Shady's, and I'm scared of another Flame Horizon.
I don't think that will happen. We do see a big wave getting pushed into him, but I guess we'll find out. It depends on the pressure Volibear is able to expend up in the top lane as well. He should catch back up a little bit, but he did miss the first couple CS, so won't be able to match it.
I think first death happens to one of the supports.
Okay. That's reasonable. That's a reasonable thought because they will have to extend out of the lane to get some more vision, especially when this first dragon is spawning, and it is going to be the Ocean Drake.
Yeah, and like, even though Lissandra doesn't have flash, it's a aftershock Lissandra who, like, her E is pretty safe. Like, she can E at a funny angle, walk towards Volibear Ori, and W, and then E away, and just ignore the fact that she's flashless, right?
Yep.
So it gives her a little bit more leniency. But like the supports, once they, even with flash, like they're always slightly behind in gold. They're squishy, they don't have much going for them. Although
SSF just donate a lot of CS to almost a dozen. Oh, he might get caught out right here. He does have the E up, but he's gonna get stunned just as he connects it, so he will be safe in the end. That was pretty close there. And TG Hyperion's gonna be forced to back.
yeah, I do like the idea of like kind of funneling the Karthus a bit. I mean, like, Karthus is already 400 gold above Volibear, and it's only 6 minutes into the game.
Yeah, Karthus is also clearing more camps right now, so she's picking up even more gold. Has already got off that one back, is sitting on about 600, needs to farm a lot more before he can have a successful one again. We see bot lane backing here. We got 46 CS on this Ezreal. He's going to be at about 1,400 gold. Back will get stopped though.
So right now, Akon is losing his hair over the fact that the Karma just walked up. I know I would be. Cannot blame him at all. Both top laners burning TP, which means that likely neither of them will have them up for the time the first dragon falls.
I think they know that first dragon being ocean means they don't really. They want to make sure their team gets it, but they're also just like every member here is a late game champion. They're all trying to play for late as MZ Shady is forced to use the pool away from the knockup of Sion. And Karthus is invading the red side jungle of Volibear. The ultimate here. Oh, that's an ultimate right back. Both top laners dropping it. That's a nice stun up though too.
Trade 1 to Hyperion though, that's not a bad trade. I mean, cooldowns are pretty equal in length, right? And MZ Shady popped his ult as well, so.
Yeah, and Hyperion started this Nekatron clone. Who knows he's going to be trading and be just taking that extra poke of Vladimir all the time. So he's ready to just tank it up and soak it up. He's still got his corrupting pot. He's still getting those little biscuits. So he understands the state of the lane.
Yeah, well, also what I think happened there was almost a dozen was like, hey, I'm about to hit 6. Like, if you want to make a trade, like, I can look to ult, and maybe we can drop him.
Right.
So he just drops everything. Unfortunately, Vladimir countered with his ult, but overall, like, still an even trade, right? You don't lose anything from taking something like that.
In no way do they lose anything a little bit too major. The one thing I would say is they know both teleports are down, and Sion could have had that ult. He could have roamed with it if they're looking for this first dragon, but it is so heavily warded by Solar Flare. I don't know if Titan Gaming are even focusing on it. I think they're just focusing on, hey, Karthus, you farm it up, you get big, and when we need to make a play, we'll try to make a play, try to burst somebody down here. They do know that heal should be back up for Mobron. They should know that Karma also has their Ignite back up. Acid Step about to get that flash back online as well. They're going to try to trade a little bit of damage on Akon the Kid. I did notice that it was a successful steal. Almost a dozen did take away that second red buff from Mask Link. So really good rotations from him, knowing jungle timings. He only has so many wards that are so deep, so he's working with what information he has. Volibear not really impacting the game we thought he needed to early.
Yeah, which is more in favor of Titan Gaming. I mean, Volibear's mid to late game isn't bad, but he has like enough pressure over the Karthus that I really think that things could be forced.
I agree. However, he does have pushing lanes top and mid, so difficult to really get in there with before you have that 6, before you have the ability to tower dive. Bot lane was the only one that was really constantly extended into the red side tower.
Yeah, I'm just happy to see this Karthus power farming. MZ Shady taking solid trades onto the Scion though. So he probably has to recall and then maybe walk back.
Yeah, and we see the back from Lissandra means that Karthus gets to be the one to soak all of this here. Volibear is on the Rift Herald that is spotted out. It was pinged, and it looks like they're going to try to trade for the dragon here. They won't be able to snag that ward, though. Karthus has rotated over from mid lane. They're going to start it on up. They know that they've already lost that. But this is actually a pretty big one for Sion up in the top lane. If he gets this Ocean Drake, yeah, he has to go Corrupting Pot. Yeah, he has Catalyst to Aeons. But this will give him even more just passive healing.
Yeah, I think the drag trade is better for the team getting dragon. So I think it's odd that Rift was the thing that got forced.
I think yes, unless you use Rift well, right? Like if they knock down mid turret in the next like 2.5 minutes because of Rift Herald, and
yeah,
they can't retaliate, then you have all of this pressure to force those ward lines up, look for the next dragon, try to set up in their jungle, and force Karthus to stop power farming and start grouping with his team. So
yeah, I'm slightly against the casino style of play, where it's like once you have the Ocean Drake, like I'm always regenning like what 5% of my missing health or something.
yeah, and they're actually up in the top lane. They're going to try to go on MZ Shady right now, and they are landing some damage, but the ultimate's going to try to zone away almost a dozen. DJ Hyperion trying to stick to him like glue, but he can't do enough there, and not really a failed gank, but just Karthus doesn't have that many engage tools.
Yeah, and Vladimir, like we said, is pretty squishy. I mean, he's got half of his budget build reassembled as well. Like he's not really hurting for anything.
I would like to see heal cutting picked up by some of the teams. Both teams gonna have some decent amount of healing. Lissandra has a lot in her kit. Zion's gonna have some in his. And they picked up the Ocean Drake. So Ascensep is getting zoned out of lane right now and getting out farmed pretty heavily by Vezu. Solar Flare is just up like 600 gold in farm.
Yeah. Interestingly enough, it looks like Lissandra's going GLP, which I think is interesting because of how, like, again, how slippery we already said Solar Flare
Force
is.
Flash from Karthus by Volibear is very nice for the side of Solar Flare if they're able to capitalize on these flashes. They didn't on mid lane last time, but I think MZJD wants to just keep on fighting Hyperion up here. He's going to have the extended Q soon, but a nice stun from Hyperion means he's going to get some distance away. He's going to drop the ultimate and go in. Now the pool is used, and we do know that Karthus has the ultimate available. If he lands this Q, it could be enough damage. He's going to try to walk away.
I think he's still slightly too healthy without Karthus having like an Oblivion Orb or something to just ult him down.
Yeah, he does have that Runic Echoes right now, so we know he has a little bit of extra damage from the spell, but opts to hold on to it.
Might also just be saving it for like next dragon or something, to the point where if he uses it, it's probably not going to be up.
Yeah, it is a really, really long cooldown, especially level 1.
But again, he's still happy to just power farm. I mean, him and Voli are actually pretty equal in CS. Karthus only about like 2 to 3 camps ahead overall. So good job keeping up from Mask Link. But the fact that Karthus is 0-0-0 across the board and still farming contently is always advantageous to his side of the jungle. But Mask Link looking to do something top with the Rift.
Yeah, and he's going to drop it. Looks like they're going to try to do a lot top. They're going to at least get some 2 good, healthy plates onto their top laner and their jungler. So going ahead and gold a little bit, but not able to make anything else of that play as Mobron sweeping in this bush. Bot lane are looking to maybe get a little bit of a scrape going on, a little scrapey scrap. Mid lane doing their nice little slow, boring trade.
After seeing the outcome of what happened with Rift, I am going to lean and just go ahead and say that the Ocean Drake was more worth it.
Oh, a great use of the cleanse is going to get Akon the Kid even further away. I do agree that the Drake was stronger there. That was almost a big fight there in the bot lane. Karthus still holding out of that first ultimate.
Again, Dragon coming up in a minute here. Blue really needed to get their resets off if they were going to, like 10-15 seconds ago, but it looks like they're still on the aggressive, unless they're not going for a Dragon on spawn. Vesu actually getting his flash burned from almost a dozen. Like, at this point, where he is in the game compared to everybody else's items, like, 3 or 4 Karthus Qs is killing everybody in this game, except maybe Mask Blink.
Right. It's a lot of damage onto Karma. TG Boom also just trying to clear this wave, get a little bit of wave prio before this dragon spawns. It is going to be the Mountain Drake that is up pretty soon, as Karma also using her empowered Q to just zone them away.
Mask Blink is topside. He's pathing down, but they might just be able to rush the dragon.
I think they are going to be able to rush the dragon, and we already see them backing bot lane, so they're just going to surrender this dragon. And I think they might just be hoping for a late game dragon here. I think on the side of TG, you actually probably want the Air Drake, and it is going to be the Cloud. That is the one that will be the soul here.
That is... Cloud Soul's pretty decent for both teams. It's not often that you get Cloud Soul. And, like, you know, it's actually like, oh wow, I can't believe we got this. But for both teams here, it's actually not bad.
Yeah, shortening that Karthus ult, shortening that Ashe, be able to engage with that Lissandra is really big. Obviously, Volibear, the big team fighters, Orianna and Vladimir also would really like it. Being able to use their ultimates more on cooldown is huge.
The move speed, too, if they're able to get Soul, is like, if a Vladimir ever gets Cloud Soul, the game is genuinely over. There's no...
Especially if it's going to be 4 of them here.
Ashero coming in, trying to lock down Vesu. It's close, but not quite.
Doesn't quite land. And we're 16 minutes into this game, chat, and still no kills have been dropped. This is a CEO match. This is like NA. You're right. This is like NALCS. Look at this.
This is like NALCS in Season 6, though. Like, we're talking like the top laner and the support leash the jungler at Red, Krugs, Raptors, and Wolves before walking the lane. Pretty decent gold lead coming in for Solar Flare, though, just from CS alone. But as long as TG can keep getting the dragons, it might not matter too much.
Yeah, TG are doing a really good job securing those dragons. I think it's a little bit on the side of Solar Flare, kind of just saying we don't want them. They're kind of surrendering them. We saw back bot lane having to back and not even be able to contest. We saw Volibear not even rotating at the right times. We saw him trade for the Rip Herald earlier. Just wet noodle spaghetti fight up top.
Yeah, the Abyssal Mask from Sion really doing the work that he paid for, because Anzi Shady with 4 full rotations of his cooldown and still pretty even in the health department.
He's going all the way in up here on top, though. And it is going to be a nice Q and huge damage here from Volibear. They're going to burn the flash of him. He's going to knock him up underneath tower, but he will go down. Now he has his passive. The teleport is coming in. It looks like Acid Step is going to try to help capitalize onto these, but a nice Namu is going to knock them both up. She can't go in. She's going to follow on the E, but she might go too low here. She's waiting for that Karthus ult. She's saying, please, hello, almost a dozen, but 2 kills picked up for the side of Solar Flare in the top lane.
And First Blood was in fact not a support. It was both solo laners.
A lot of summoners finally being used. The first tower does go over to the side of Titan Gaming, though.
But Vesu gets to pick up the mid-tier 1 pretty much here. I'm almost certain of it, which is always so good for Baron and Drag fights in the future. And also picking up top tier 1, so advantages to Solar Flare all around.
Yeah, I think Solar Flare definitely pulled way ahead, especially with those 2 kills. They were able to burn both Summoners of Acid Step. Yeah, they got a lot out of Mobron. Mobron had to rotate up and they sacrificed Bot Tower, but now they've got Rift Herald, they've got the Tower advantage, they have the kill and gold advantage. They're able to use it around this next dragon here. You can see a big shift in power.
Yeah, 200 gold bounty, the second MZ Shady got a kill. He is 2,000 gold over the Scion. And likewise, Vesu is about 2k over Lissandra as well. And the only person on the side of Titan Gaming with a gold lead is actually TG Boom on the Ashe with just under 1,000.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We have seen TG Boom carry games. For Solar Flare right now, it's all about warding and not being out of position. You have a lead, and the only way you're going to blow it is if you guys step out of position, ward in risky areas, right, and get caught by these Ashe arrows as Lissandra engage in the Karthus follow-up. We still have yet to see a Karthus ult.
This is true, but nobody's really been in a dead range yet. So it's kind of hard for him to, get a usage of it when nobody's low.
Nobody is low, but Acid Step is roaming up here in the top lane. He's going to see Mobron. He's going to catch a little bit of damage onto them right now. He's going to drop the ultimate as well. Here comes. A lot of ultimates are getting dropped. It just misses Mobron. I think almost a dozen was going to flash this wave. He's not quite going to nail it, but he does get the kill. Acid Step might go down here. He's going to live with the heal from TG Boom, so they're able to claw a kill back right there. Mobron a little out of position, and that's what I was talking about.
Yeah, my only problem with that is everybody's on the top side of the map and drag spawning at 3, but are they actually just going to look for a Baron? That is very interesting, but Acid Step actually falling out really low.
Risky. Yes, they have some damage. They're going to try to catch MZ Shady. Looking forward a little bit faster. Sion's going to go in. Now they're looking for it. He does flash away, so they burned one summoner. I think you have to look for top tower here because you're sacrificing so much. Now they still have that Rift Herald. We could see them drop it mid lane.
Yeah, that's really, really bad for Titan Gaming.
They know that they have to salvage something out of this, but Vladimir is so freaking scary. Now see a good ignite that's going down. Ultimate from Ezreal is going to clip them. Will he go down? A huge flash forward from TG Boom. They're going to knock down the second mid-tier tower here. And a fight is breaking out. Let's see if they can back up a huge ultimate from Master. He's going to pick up the kill into Acid Step, and I think almost a dozen will go down. I doubt the ult will come out here. I don't think anybody is truly low enough, but they get 2 charges. It does go out, doesn't kill anybody. He gets the Dark Harvest stack, and that's all. They are going to get top tower in the end, but that full charge got off onto their inhib tower in mid lane as well.
Yeah, very, very, very good for Solar Flare. They got the dragon. They didn't lose anything for it. They lost MZ Shady, but really not a bad sacrifice in the long con.
Not at all. Not at all. This Volibear is starting to get pretty big, getting pretty tanky as well. Already got that adaptive helmet to help deal with things like the Karthus.
Yeah, and it's very, very easy now with no mid towers for TG, for Solar Flare to just kind of do what they want.
Yeah, we're going to see those wards push up.
The big concern for me, like the only tier 1 tower that TG's hanging on to is the bottom tier 1.
A little bit of a prank going on. They're sitting in some vision. They're waiting for someone like Mobron or MZ to step out and try to ward as TG's going to go catch that top wave. Vezu's going to show bottom. Acid Step will have the teleport advantage over Vezu since Vezu has that cleanse. Baron is the next neutral objective that's up. I think the nerves are gone right now for both teams. I think going into this, those first 16 minutes of just deathless, with just both teams having a little bit of nerves of being in their finals here, I think the nerves are gone. We've seen a little bit of a fiesta in the last couple minutes, a lot of kills going back and forth, and now we're back to this slow and steady play.
Yeah, and with the way that Solar Flare's in a pretty advantaged spot now, it's better for them to play slow than it is for Titan Gaming.
Yeah, Titan Gaming's down about 4K. They're going to need to make some plays as Mass Link's hiding on his own control ward. He is maybe going to see this. Karma's going to go all in on it, and they're going to try to do a lot of here. The rest of Solar Flare is rotating up, but there's a lot of CC. A huge tidal wave's going to knock up 2, and the bubble's going to catch almost a dozen as well, and they're going to blow him out of the water. Now he's still impacting this fight, and Masslink will go down. Both junglers are out of here. MC Shady is blowing up everybody on the backline, and TG Boom may go down to that ultimate. He doesn't quite. Hemo Plague not quite finishing him off.
Overall, a 1-for-1. Both junglers dead.
Acid Step maybe getting caught out. Both junglers getting caught out, but like every ultimate being used, except for Orianna's.
Yeah, I'm not so sure what that was. It's definitely something. Nothing really accomplished out of it for either team, I don't think. Dragon is coming up in a minute though, so for Solar Flare it helps them deny the ability for TG to set up vision.
Yeah. They have a lot of room to play in here with those 2 mid towers gone. We do see them rotating through that top side, setting up a lot of wards. Dragon is also spawning in about 43 seconds, so... see what the teams prioritize here. As they are going to be able to pick up at least the scuttle around the Dragon. TG Boom is closer to the soul point, but they don't have the same momentum they had in the early game.
No, definitely not. I mean, maybe there's a way that they can get a pick and rush it, and then that's pretty good for them, but I really think giving away the third drag was...
almost a dozen. He gets a lot down if he drops it all right there. Shockwave not connecting, the flash burn from almost a dozen.
Yeah, it's... I really dislike what happened to the third drag if I was on the side of TG, but more combat.
No tower to hide behind, and TG Boom's going to get stunned up and burned down. He will finally go down to that Hemo Plague in the end, I think, but he's able to trade a lot of damage before he does go down, and he is finished off. Hyperion trying to trade on to Akon the Kid, but that's a 2-for-0 so far, and it looks like Solar Flare are going to run down Titan Gaming. Mobron on the wrong side of hell here, and Acid Step is getting caught out. He will ult himself just to live a little bit longer, and while this is all going on, Karthus is soloing this Dragon, but he might lose so much for it. He has his ultimate. He could look to finish off 1 or 2 of them if he does use it. He should know how healthy they are.
Yeah, I don't think it's unreasonable to just pop the ultimate and see if you can slay... You at least get Mobron. But that will just be Baron uncontested for Solar Flare.
And this Vladimir's really scary right now. I mean, 240 CS, 4 kills. He's got the Rabadons completed. He's got... oh my god. He is big.
Yeah, Vladimir is in a perfect spot to carry and end this game. What I didn't actually notice, though, was Titan Gaming did secure the Dragon, which puts them 1 point closer to Soul, which gives them another opportunity at 4 minutes if they can secure Soul and maybe get a fight or a pick off of it. And it looks like that's exactly what they're doing by chilling in the bush.
Sion's looking like he's going to engage here in the mid lane, and they're going to set up a nice wall there, but Hyperion just getting burned out by that tower. The cleanse is used from Akon the Kid. He's going to run away. A nice use of the tidal wave's going to knock up a lot of people, and 2 are going down already for the side of Titan Gaming. I think Akon the Kid will be deleted, and he is. A huge ultimate from almost a dozen, but Hyperion can't chase down everyone else, and Ash is just going to try to... oh my god, she's popped.
That is almost a one-shot. And I think that's just the game.
I think Solar Flare will be taking game 1 here. Now, we did see, I believe, that Titan Gaming are yet to win game 1 in a series.
That is also true. You're right. Everything has been a reverse sweep.
So, even if they go down 2 games, I would not count them out in the littlest bit, but I think they will be able to end right here. Solar Flare looking to pick up game 1 in this series, but the respawn timers are still pretty short. They're up. They're looking to hold. MC Shady doesn't have that Hemo Plague anymore. They're going to go all engage. They're going to lock up a lot of people. A nice tidal wave again for this. Oh, a shockwave hits people. Now Lyssandra's down. They're trying to scare them out of their base. Sion, a little immobile, can't help his whole team here, but MC Shady drops low. The pool is right there. Mobron's almost out of mana and can't help him here. He might have to burn. Oh my god, he's able to trade one back as well. Dear god, what a scary champion.
The huge shutdown unfortunately goes over to Sion, which is probably the worst person to put it on.
Yeah, and there is some heal cutting coming out from Sion now. There's still no heal cutting on the side of Ashe, but Karthus has picked it up, so they're probably proccing it all the time with that Karthus.
But the important thing is, even with an exposed Nexus, Titan Gaming are not completely out.
No, they are not, and it's a minute 48 until this next dragon spawns, and it will be Soul Point, but I don't know if it's going to be able to salvage this game. They're pretty far behind, almost 10k now as we look into 30 minutes come approaching very quickly.
Yeah, I think Vladimir just runs the game down.
Yeah, especially when he's grouped with his team. I mean, that Shockwave, this Vezu is kind of like this silent carry too in this game. 3-0 and 10. It's just been absolutely popping off. Everybody just doing like the poke damage, and then MZ Shady and Vezu are just absolutely popping the other team. However, we haven't really seen a full 5v5 team fight. Every time Karthus is either caught out early or split. We saw him, that huge team fight in the mid lane, he was just soloing Dragon in the back. Baron is off of these guys now. It's a little bit less pressure, and it will be a full 5v5 as we see Lysandra looking for it on the side, looking for an engage. MC Shady has that ball on him. He's looking to get really close. A nice ult from Ashe can keep him away for just another moment. Sion maybe went a little too deep as Acid Step is in the back line. The cleanse getting dropped from Akon the Kid, and Acid Step is dropping really, really low. He goes down. Ezreal picks up one in the fight. No one else has died yet. Hyperion's going to be the next one to fall, though. And Solar Flare looking to close this one out in style. 30 minutes into this game, and I think this is going to be all she wrote. A huge shockwave again, and they're going to want to pick them all up. He is going to pick up MZ Shady. But Solar Flare go up 1-0.
Yeah, and at the end of that there, almost a dozen was saying, you can take this game, but you're not taking my KDA. He picks up a kill, doesn't die. But overall, very, very strong game one from Solar Flare. And looking at the damage graphs alone, you can just see the work that Vladimir and Orianna put in. And on the side of Titan Gaming, the Sion actually topping out the damage charts just from whacking the Vladimir the entirety of lane phase.
Mm-hmm.
Overall, though, I thought Titan Gaming had a pretty good start. So they don't really need to worry about their hyper early game too much. It's mostly just like from third Drake onwards, like what's our game plan? What can we do?
I think they also maybe want to change their draft a little bit. I don't think the draft was bad, but I think having almost a dozen on the farm heavy champion is being like almost a dozen gets to play how he wants, but not how his team needs him to, right? If he was on something like the Nidalee where he could have impacted lanes a little bit more or could have pressured early on, we could have seen them draw bigger leads in other lanes. When he's on this big farming champion, yes, he's terrifying. Yes, yeah, at 16 minutes, everyone's still backing up from him, but you're not affecting the map the way you can on a jungler.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Yeah, I definitely think drafts could change. I think bans stay the same relatively for both teams, but definitely the picks. The picks can be a bit different. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw the loss of one of the bans against Vladimir.
Mm-hmm.
But other than that, I think both teams keep similar bans.
Yeah, and we're going to load into the next lobby here. I'm going to create the pro draft for them, and then I will take a quick hiatus here because it does take two to tango. And that's a well-known fact.
I agree.
I have to see what side Titan Gaming is choosing to pick, though. I think Titan Gaming likes to play Did you play against? No, you didn't. They played against Glacial. I'm not
Yeah, they
sure
played
what side
against.
Titan Gaming normally picks.
I would imagine red, just like every other team in the LBLCS, but we'll have to see.
Yeah, I mean they have their own game plans and strategies going into this big final here. They know it's a best of 5. They know that they 100% at this rate now only 100% get one game to pick, right? Because if they get beat here and they get beat again, they won't get to choose. Lower seed gets to pick in. They're gonna pick blue. Um, so the sides are gonna stay the exact same. Um, they won't be able to do what we were talking about and get a counter pick in some lane or anything. Now, it does give them higher priority to take things like Aphelios. It forces that ban to 100% come out.
Yeah,
Forces some other things as well.
I think the Aphelios ban has to come out regardless, though, because Akon doesn't play it.
Oh, Akon doesn't play it at all?
No, not from what I'm
Okay.
aware of. And if he does, it's definitely lower on the priority list than the other champions.
Sure. And I'm going to toss the spec link into the chat down here.
That means we
It's
will be
interesting.
switching.
If this goes 5 games, the one thing that will be very interesting to me is if both teams decide to play the entirety of it on the same side.
That would be, well, yeah, I think it depends. Like, I think there's a momentum thing, right? Like, here's just my personal hypothetical idea of, like, let's say I'm Titan Gaming here, right? And oh, actually, wait, no, that doesn't work. That doesn't work. But like, if you lose, like, okay, let's say Titan Gaming win these next 2 games, right?
Sure.
And then it's just like, you might as well just switch it up. Like, if you're losing and you can't like, you can't win on a certain side, like, if Titan Gaming loses this game as well, they're praying that Solar Flare switches to blue side just for something new, right?
I don't think that they would, though. I know that they would be praying that, but I don't think they would want to even switch there. As Pro Draft hopefully will start up soon. Stream is ready for it, guys. If you're listening on at home, I think that because of how Solar Flare plays and because of what they like to do, being able to save either a mid or top pick gives them way more comfort because they get to do things like, okay, do we need to switch our laners, right? Do we need them to go somewhere else? Do we need to switch? You know, it looks like MZ's on this Vladimir. Do we need to switch to Vezu and take something else? How do we finish out this comp? How do we play around our big last pick, which influences not just the lane that it is going in, but probably the other solo lane. They'll always save it for that other solo lane.
Yeah. And I think something that might not be too bad for Titan Gaming is just picking your mid a little bit earlier. Because I know I said before the series that the joyousness of the counter pick is that you kind of get to, you really get to decide who wins the mid lane because it's like you can just pick somebody who pushes better than the enemy. But with somebody like Vesu, he's a fantastic player who's limited by his champ pool. But you can, if you're banning out the Azir and you're banning out the Cassio, you pretty much know he's going on Orianna or Zoe. Like 90% chance. Right? So from that point, you could pick your mid a little bit earlier and then free up some leeway for maybe a counter pick in a different lane.
We will see how draft changes. I don't know if I'm expecting bans to change on either side. We did talk about that Vladimir a little bit, Zelius. That was probably the scariest thing, and maybe you take it away. Maybe you can allow something like Azir to go through if you know he wants to take it, or if you know that they might not opt to take something like that early in the draft because they're on red side, because they can hold that last pick. So maybe you see a change like that just because Vlad is such a safe pick. And is super flexible with both lanes. We do dive on into draft, and Zelius, you get to take this one over because it takes 2 to tango, and I got a refill.
It does take 2 to tango, and the Alawi ban, again, is the first thing that comes up. Like I said, not too much being, should be changed within the ban phase. At most, you can consider dropping a Vladimir ban. But either way, Aphelios in response, again, first pick, bans, not changing. You don't want MZ Shady on Alawi. You don't want Vesu on Azir. You don't want TG Boom, the number one Aphelios, on Aphelios. You don't want to see almost a dozen on Nocturne. We saw what they did to the Glue Eaters, right? So just keeping it away. Olaf ban is being hovered, which I think is good personally, if they're not going to snag it, unless they have something to counter it, and they do get rid of it. And set is the return ban. Nope, and I don't think there should be any changes. Also, the Ashe first pick, followed by the Vladimir Ezreal.
What is happening? What is happening?
We are seeing a very similar draft.
Currently identical.
We might just be watching a VOD of the first draft. I'm not sure. We'll find out.
Game 1 right now?
No, I think you get a stronger mid, and maybe a different top, and the world changes.
Maybe a different jungler here. Zyra in the bot lane. Now this is an oppressive bot lane.
Yeah, that is a winning lane. And knowing that Mobron doesn't really like playing the engaged supports, and if a Graves comes out here for almost a dozen, that would be something I'm interested in seeing. Graves can 1v9 a game.
Yeah, especially when you put it on. No, it's gonna be the Malzahar instead.
I like that too. Like I said, I just pick it early. Like he's either gonna play Cassiopeia or he's gonna play Orianna. Like I don't foresee him playing anything super different.
Right. I mean, the one thing is he might pick up this Vladimir and they might try to rotate it. Or MZ could always go mid and they could shuffle him up top. But still, then you have a little bit different dynamic of how the team is going to work and where they're going to allocate resources. They're going to pick up the Karma again here on Solar Flare. They're going to take it away and pick it for a safer lane. Ezreal Karma is very safe, and they know that Ashe Zyra has that pressure.
And all right, for one quick moment, as you know as well, it takes two to tango, so take it away, Bug.
Thanks. It does take two to tango. Guys, if you haven't ever danced before and you're trying to tango, you need a partner. So make sure you go down to your nice cold beer store where there's ice cold corianders. Pick yourself up one and pound it. Volibear taken away by Titan Gaming this time, so they're targeting that jungle. I think that Graves ban, however, might have been actually to help force the ban because they banned it last time. Titan Gaming banned in phase 2 the Graves away. That was a Nidalee ban. I'm sure it will be talked about in lobby. Yeah, it is the Nid ban that they're saying. So confirm that blank ban is going to be the Nid ban. Jungler is being hit. They're going to try to force him onto this Cassiopeia. That Orianna ban, a little less team fighty here in terms of wombo that you could have. But Cass Vladimir can shred through teams. However, it's going to be very AP heavy. It is picked up and locked in, and it looks like they're saving their jungle pick for the absolute counter here, just because Titan Gaming were able to flesh them out, able to figure out how they like to draft, what they like to do, and they forced them onto something that was pretty obvious. So they're going to show what Titan Gaming already knew, the Cassio is picked up for Solar Flare. And now you're looking at a top and jungle pick here for Titan Gaming. You could have you could go a lot of different ways with this. They have an insane amount of damage in zone right now. The Kindred is going to be picked up in the jungle, so it's going to be annoying for people like Vladimir and Cassio to try to pop people. And the Maokai in the top lane, I was like, good. They really need some tank engage or tank disengage here on the side of Titan Gaming.
I really like the Kindred.
Really like the Kindred.
Yeah, I think Kindred is just one of those 1v9 champs. Right? And it's like, if you can play for yourself, you can get ahead, you can accomplish everything.
Well, the one thing we saw Almost doesn't do last game, and something we've seen him do all season long, is his ability to invade the other jungler and take away camps. We saw him do it and get ahead. We saw him just steal the second red buff away from the side of Solar Flare. Masslink is currently hovering this Kha'Zix, and it is going to be locked in. This is a new Masslink. I have not seen this before from Solar Flare.
Yeah, I have never seen Masslink's ability to play Kha'Zix either, but with the recent buffs, it is seeing quite a bit of play. Kha'Zix is super strong right now. so it might not be too bad.
Yeah, it is a very scary champ and can definitely bother these if you get Malzahar off, you get that shield off of Malzahar, and Cass can do that pretty easily. He can really blow him up. So there's some easy targets here. Kindred Pre-6 obviously is also going to be very weak to the side of Kha'Zix roaming around in the jungle. It's going to be dangerous to invade.
But if Kindred invades Kha'Zix, it's actually Kindred favored. It's a weird jungle matchup of who invades who,
Sure. Okay.
which
Are
is
you saying
interesting.
you
It's
think it's
whoever
like more
gets.
dangerous to be invaded on in each of these scenarios?
Yes, because well, typically, right? If you're not invading, you're going to be doing a camp. If you're doing a camp, you're going to be lower health.
Sure.
But like Kindred has a lot of quirky paths, I guess, where like you could go. They're on blue side, so he could go red buff straight to the enemy red buff, or he could go red buff to blue to the enemy red buff, right? And like he can hunt Kha'Zix. And if Kha'Zix even thinks about doing his wolves or something before he goes to start his red, well then he's already not full health. And then Kindred's 1v1 potential and the ability to kite Kha'Zix without his E is just it's dirty.
We will see what they are going to do in this early game. Last time we saw a very standard 5-point from each team. Very boring, really, until the 16-minute mark. This game, both the junglers can be more aggressive. Just in general, they've picked way more aggressive junglers, way more impactful. Solar Flare still playing for this late game, though.
Yeah, I'd like to see one of the junglers die before 6 minutes.
I'd like to see anyone die before 6 minutes. So yes, anyone at all.
Yeah, but like, I don't think any of the laners can die before 6 minutes.
I think if you catch out Karma, you might be able to finish it. Ashe Zyra is bonkers amount of damage and
Yeah,
is really oppressive in lane.
Well, and Karma Ezreal won't have the push, right? So like, how do you catch her out?
Yeah, you probably don't. Maybe on a back, maybe you fake it back and she goes forward pushing. Maybe you see this early rotations for some scuttles. Last time we saw them trade scuttles and not really fight over them. We could see Kindred Kha'Zix fight over these scuttles and have top and mid kind of rotate over.
Yeah, I'm excited. I'm excited. I'll say that.
I'm more excited than I was from the drafts of Game 1.
Yeah, it's like I still feel that there's a bit of an inability to burst Vladimir, but Malzahar ult is even better than Lissandra ult because you can't cleanse it. You'd have to buy a QSS.
Yep.
And then if MZ Shady and Vesu are paying the QSS tax, then you're at least basically netting yourself a 1,300 gold advantage by existing.
And forcing that out of it. It does give a little bit of MR, but it's really just the active that people buy it for. I also want to see if both mid laners opt for the teleport this time. Last time we did see the cleanse come out from Orianna on that Vesu on that Orianna. We could see more of a double TP game, and I think, personal opinion, that Titan Gaming weren't able to really use TP effectively last game. They used it to try to hold top early. They got extra punished for it. They lost another life. They weren't able to actually make rotations with it. They only got to 5v5 team fight maybe once that entire game. So see how they use it in game 2. We will be loading in just 3 minutes after everybody else loads in. This is the CEO League finals between Solar Flare and Titan Gaming.
All right. Hi, sorry I'm late. What's the game score, and why does Buggle sound like he's in a spacesuit?
I am in a spacesuit. That's why.
And
COVID, bro.
the score is 1-0 to Solar Flare, which you will see when the game loads up, and when I change it. What you know what? While we're waiting, I'll do right now, so there's no confusion when we're in game.
Wow, what a guy! What a champ!
Sides are staying the same.
They might all series.
Possibly. But how long will the series be? Does Titan Gaming take this game? Does Titan Gaming take the next game? Or does Solar Flare take both?
They do have the same engage tool. I think Boom is a really big leader for this team. He is the captain, and he had some really nice Ashe ults last game. Catching out Kha'Zix you can actually kill Kha'Zix a little bit faster than you can kill a Volibear. So we can see their ability to pick here with this Ashe Malzahar alt combination be very strong. Zyra and Maokai also have really solid follow-up CC. They have really good kiting ability too here. I think we have to see what these junglers do. Last game we talked about how it was all about the junglers early game, and they just power farm. So junglers, if you're still listening for some reason, even though you're in game, kill each other this game. Come on.
Yes, jungle die before 6 minutes. You know what? Okay, I'll say this only because I got my tax returns, okay? If Kindred or Kha'Zix dies before 6 minutes, I will be gifting 2 subs to the viewers in the chat.
You heard it. Either one dies before 6 minutes. All right, I'll be on the 6-minute timer for you.
Executes don't count because, we haven't seen Masklink play Kha'Zix before, so... Executes don't count.
It doesn't have to be first blood, right? It just has to be them dying. Hopefully, we are going to see more action. I'm expecting it's game 2 of finals. You could get a little more risque. You do have Ashe Zyra, decent invade ability here from the side of Titan, but I doubt they will opt to do it. I would expect both teams in game 2 of finals to still be 5-point.
Yeah, neither team really, what do you do on an invade, really? You throw out your Ashe Volley, you trade with an Ezreal Q, maybe Malzahar and Cass get their mana flow banned, but, not much going on here.
Not too much going on. Old No Name just hyping himself up as he plays Sensei Randall's bits noise in the chat. Yes, Sensei Randalls were victorious in Executive League as a 3-0. It's currently a 1-0 in the CEO League finals. Will we have 3 3-0s this year? We're going to find out. Can Titan Gaming pull it back in game 2?
Now, while we load in, I would just like to say, though, the Sensei Randall's upset was, genuinely insane. I really don't think anybody genuinely assumed that was going to happen.
I didn't play. Listen, we were first seed, and even though everything was confusing, we picked the winner of Bill Withers versus Glacial because we didn't want to end up facing Sensei Randalls. They were the only team to actually 2-0 us during the normal league. We had them going at least 5 games, if not taking the whole series against Bill Withers.
Huh. Interesting. I kept up with the executive a little less than economy and CEO, just because of the times.
Well, here's what I will say. If you'd watch the streams, and it would look like Bill Withers were absolutely favored to win because Sensei Randalls very rarely get streamed, and because there were so many complications with GZG and just all that mayhem that was going on, so Sensei Randalls looked worse overall.
Yeah. I think
also I don't think they ever played with their full roster in either of those games. They never had Athalobi. They weren't playing the same way that we expected them to.
That's true.
So when they whipped out their full roster and came to town, we saw what happened. Both of these teams here are playing with their full rosters, and I don't think really have any subs lined up at all. So it is going to be these 10 guys playing the entire time tonight.
Yeah, and 5 games. The one thing I will say, if it goes 5 games though, is that 5th game is so grueling.
Oh, from experience.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that season 2 executive finals is the only series to ever go 5 games, right? Ever?
Correct. Yeah.
In LBLCS history?
In LBLCS, the only series to go 5 games was that series, yes.
Yeah, and it's tough, man. It's fun, but really, instead of winning, you're starting to switch your focus to whether you want to go to bed. And it's just, knowing that one single mistake could end what you've spent this fast 5 hours accomplishing is tough mentally. And we might actually see an invade because Titan Gaming is... Yeah, Titan Gaming flashing the Mastery 7, flashing a Mastery 5. They're grouped up in a bush. They're like, alright, Kha'Zix, they're going bug hunting.
They will be going bug hunting now. It is currently before 6 minutes. So, if Kha'Zix dies here, Dale's gonna set Trudeau's word to Masslink, maybe going a little bit too far out. He's gonna get caught by the CC, and he's gonna get silenced. A W. He's gonna root all the way back. The flash forward from Kindred means they will get more damage. Now it is marked by Kindred. There's some slow from the rest of the team. The silence goes out, but Summoner's burned, but no one goes down.
And not quite 2 subs yet, but there's still a chance.
Yeah, especially with both junglers' flashes down.
Now, I apologize, chat. There was a bit of a lag because Riot Games still hasn't actually solved any issues with their spectator client, but that should be fixed now. Buggle and I should be on the same time.
At 130, 131.
133. Yeah, we're good.
Right.
We're good.
Yeah.
It's just the cutting thing that happens. I'm pretty sure that's unavoidable because I've tried everything.
I've tried everything. I've had my own issues streaming lately. In fact, you're streaming the game because I'm unable right now.
I am actually streaming it in 4K, so if you have a 4K monitor, like, please utilize. If you don't worry about it. But it's there if you have
That's
it.
what you're talking about. Look at the path of Kindred.
Yeah, right to the red buff. Waiting in the wings, and this might actually be 2 gifted subs going to chat.
Kha'Zix is walking over.
And Kha'Zix is flashless too.
Gonna get attacked, and I think he's gonna have to just give up that buff.
Now, if I was Kha'Zix,
wow,
I would just run straight to his red, to Kindred's red.
he's not though. He's gonna do his wolves here, and he's gonna clear the rest of his camps. Kindred's gonna run straight to their red though.
Now, in solo queue, I have a secret Smurf that I only play Kindred on. And a little strat that I like to do is around the 3-minute mark, I'll sit under my mid laner's tier 1, or I'll help my mid lane push, and then I'll just go to whatever mark the crab spawns on.
Okay.
And that way I'm not wasting any time, and I'm also not like risking the coin flip of the jungler just like bolting it to my mark.
Yeah,
Right? Because
I
like
see Kindred going down to the bot lane here.
yeah, Kindred wants to get 4 marks as fast as possible.
Yeah, and unfortunately, it is the topside scuttle that does get marked, but they might be able to find Kha'Zix out right now, and Acid Step's going to walk into that bush. He's going to get hit by Masslink. They're going to get the silence, though, a little bit late because that jump was able to come out. So he does get all 3 buffs, and he gets the first scuttle. He's going to rotate over to the next one, and TG Hyperion has the push in the top lane and can rotate over to it. You see him actually traveling in the river right now.
Yeah, I love this.
If almost a dozen can 3-buff and double scuttle, this would be massive for the side of Titan Gaming.
Yeah, and Kindred is like, he's a jungler, he's an AD carry, like he does both. So like if he gets like really far ahead, like Boom's never seeing a red buff in his life, and like Kindred's carrying the game through and through.
Yeah, did start that refillable potion and hasn't backed yet because they're picking up their first stack there, right?
Yeah, that is Kindred's first stack. She whipped it up, but that's triple buff, double crab. And I think that the solo lanes from TG stepped up their game a lot from game 1.
I agree.
Right. We saw the coordination of like Maokai, look at his mana, right? Like that's because he had to push the wave. He's like, I'm getting priority for my jungler. Like right. That's the thing also about recognizing like everybody on both teams are good players. But it's not arguable statistically that Titan Gaming's jungler and Solar Flare's top laner.
On the kit. Okay.
The action is halted. Mobron getting low though. But back to my point, they're statistically and subjectively the best players in the league, right? Among the best players in the league.
Right.
So when you're able to get them going, it's always going to be easier to win the game when you have that star power.
Yeah, when your big player gets even bigger, it's easier to get on their back and ride them into the Nexus. Another gold lead here for the side of Solar Flare early on, them just CSing better in their lanes. Obviously, Vladimir has a lot of easy tools to CS. Easy last hit button to push. But mid lane as well. Vezu going up.
Yeah,
Uh-oh.
Cassiopeia also really easy CSing with her E. Is that Kindred getting a really early dragon? That's like
Yeah, it is.
barely just after the spawn. That's beautiful. I love that. Now, I think that Almost a Dozen is an amazing jungler. And his big weakness is actually Annie, like yours. He's very weak
Don't
to
talk
Annie.
about Annie. Don't talk about Annie to me. I
Well,
don't want to talk about Annie.
I am just saying Titan Gaming's jungler shares a similar weakness.
Terrifying JP, I don't want to talk about.
Yeah, he played Rek'Sai and he ganked mid to the Annie and he tower dove and he stunned him and he died 3 minutes in the game. Unlucky,
Yeah.
but great player. Great player.
Kha'Zix's actually invading this side of Kindred's jungle right now, but it's the bottom side Scuttle that gets the next mark, and Kindred's gonna have absolute priority to go get that. So really good from Almost a Dozen this game, doing a lot. And Vladimir going all the way in here on the top lane. He should be able to kill Hyperion. That's the pool right there.
He actually lives. Maokai is a tanky boy.
But Masslink hiding in the shadows, waiting
They-
for his moment to strike.
Could look for the dive if Hyperion doesn't get his back off, but
Yeah, not to. Kindred's up in levels on this Kha'Zix. Has got some good stacks now. Hasn't gotten any kills yet, but Almost a Dozen is sitting on those 2 marks they were able to get from the Scuttles. We're past 6 minutes, so there's no gifted subs here. But I'm hoping that the first kill comes before 16 minutes.
you know what? Yeah.
As it's rotating.
First kill before 16 minutes, and it's 1 gifted sub.
1 gifted sub. Okay,
Yeah,
the tower dive might be happening. Ash has the ult up, and they're gonna start the dive right here. It connects onto Mobron, and he gets absolutely melted to the ground. First one going over to Zyra. Akon the Kid ticking away and getting really low, and I think he's gonna be able to pick that up as well. Oh, the rest of the fight, Vezu is getting huge. A nice ultimate here from Kindred should keep them alive a little bit longer. Now they're going to try to trade damage onto it. A flash away. Vezu's going to flash in as well, trying to trade with a nice slow there. The silence is going to finish it off. Currently a 3-for-1 in Titan Gaming's favor. And just like that, 0 to 100 real quick. Hey. Says hey with that ward. I think they might be able to pick up this kill here, but Masslink is there.
All right, the sub has been gifted in the chat. That was quite a few kills dropping before 16 minutes.
Yeah,
So-
Titan Gaming picks up the lead in this one.
Mighty support winning the gifted sub. And
What a guy.
Acid Step big on a Malzahar. Like, Malzahars don't get fed very often, but when they do, like, goddamn.
Scary.
Like, it's just, it's not even scary, it's tilting.
Yeah.
It's genuinely one of the worst things ever. Like, when his space crabs is like cancer puppies, whatever you want to call them. Like, when one of them hits you for a quarter of your health, when you're CSing at 10 CS per minute, and you have all your core items, and he still does that anyways, like, it's awful. Awful feeling.
We have seen him he's not able to spend that money yet, so he's sitting on 1,600 gold in this mid lane here. When he's able to back, he's looking to take enough with him back to finish off this Ludens, right? And do you think this lost chapter is going into a Ludens here?
You can go GLP, and I've seen a couple people go Archangel Staff, but like with the way, if you're fed, you might as well just go Ludens, but a huge play onto Vesu.
Or the suppressant, I think they're going to pick up this cast pretty easily. Vesu out of position a little bit. Look at the Ash ult follow-up. Good team communication from Titan Gaming.
Titan Gaming, you cannot sleep on them. Like, they get rolled game 1, and then they come to game 2, and it's just like, this is like, that never happened.
I think they need to wake up. I don't know if they do practice games before, but Titan Gaming have lost game 1 in every playoff series so far and have reverse swept in those best of 3s. Now they're looking for a fight here in the bot lane as Akon the Kid's going to drop his ult. And Mobron's a little bit far up. Kindred's just backing though. And it is Ludens picked up in the mid lane.
You know, I'd like to actually call out, but also compliment Acid Step here. Because I feel like watching the games, the difference between their wins and losses is through Acid Step, right? Like the Lissandra game, I thought he played okay, but it was just like it was just okay. Like he did his job, but he didn't like overstep the performance or anything. And then
Right.
he comes into game 2, and it's just like his like 5,000 LP challenger cousin got on the account and just bam win, right? like.
Well, I think his confidence was, for some reason, was really high there. He had really good communication on his dives. The flash alt forward, he's like, oh, I have Kindred near me. I'm ready to go all in.
And already, like, they're rotating together. Like, the second we enter game 2, Titan Gaming starts working as a team way better. Like, maybe you're right. Maybe they just need to play more warm-up games.
Yeah, I think their draft early game didn't allow them to do what they do well, and that's use almost a dozen in these other lanes. Maybe have Malzahar roam around. Malzahar does have that ghost available now. They could look for another play with it. That unsealed spellbook could come up really big later in the game. It's a second dragon over for Titan Gaming. We saw this last game too, but this game it could mean more, as a lot of damage onto Brando, but Zyra getting the heal from TG Boom means they are safe. Another plate, maybe a solo plate here? Yeah. That's a lot of gold on the mouse.
Yeah, that's... Even being down 15 CS, still like 700 gold up. 600 gold up.
That's really, really big for him, especially his ability to push and get absolute wave prio too on a champion like Malzahar, especially when you're ahead, is going to impact this game so much because it lets Kindred go into the jungle more, right? And we see this, it's up right now, this mark here. Can Titan Gaming give Solarflare their first loss in the playoffs? That's the real question.
Yeah, I think they just might. I think Titan Gaming is, I haven't seen actually Masslink going in though.
All the way on TJ Brown. A nice flash Q is going to keep him safe in the open to disengage. Really good for Maokai. They're going to drop Herald top again. So the way they use the Heralds is they're just like, oh, can we give MZ Shady another 200 gold for free? Let's just do that.
Yeah, and yeah, that's a big win condition, but actually another fight.
The flash forward here from Titan. They're looking to pick up a lot of kills across the board here. They're pushing forward. A nice ultimate here from Cassio, but Kindred still has their ult, and he's going to have to use the blast cone to escape.
Yeah, but Kindred just gets the mark, and Kindred is sitting at 3 marks. This is his 4th mark, and like I said, like that's the big thing for Kindred. Like Kindred's on steroids now.
Yeah, 4th mark is so big for Kindred players, and picking up 4th mark at 14 minutes is pretty good here as a 2k gold lead for the side of Titan Gaming in game 2.
And that's almost a dozen, and Acid Step, just fantastic 2v2. It swung bot lane for them. Top lane, they're leaving Flakpack / Hyperion to fend for himself. But he's not doing bad. He's down in CS, but it's range versus melee, like Maokai versus Vladimir. You're not going to be up on CS as the Maokai.
No, and he's just trading right here to trade. He has that grasp, and here comes almost a dozen rotating up. We know that Hemoplague is down, but at the cooldown is actually almost back online. As he's actually getting spooked. The root doesn't connect. A nice pool from MZ Shady keeps him safe.
Yeah,
The flash is up for MZ Shady. He could look to flash Q here, though.
Yeah, I think that's see, although MZ Shady like did way more damage than I think Titan Gaming expected, there's still the fear for him because he doesn't have his pool anymore, right? So just as much as he can one-shot both of them, they could still one-shot him.
True. And again, the bot lane here picks up the first tower of the game for Titan Gaming.
Yeah, and that's winning across the board here. The only like semi-losing lane is top, but like top is a lane that they sacked. Like he's playing for the team.
Right.
And
again, he has that Abyssal Mass, so he will be pretty tanky here in these fights, and a lot of damage on a Karma right now. She gets rooted up and attacked by those plants. Masslink is roaming around and looking. He was just marked by Kindred. That was the graphic above his head. They're able to stop the back with this Ira plant. You can't get that back off before this dragon here. We only have about 600 to spend, but we're probably picking up some control wards. We see a lot of people sitting on them here in the game. Hyperion going into MZ Shady top lane. Just pestering him in. They don't really hurt each other. Oh, this could be a kill here, though. A nice ultimate from Ashe is going to secure it. That's a kill for TG. Boom, 5-1. And right before this dragon spawns means Drake number 3 should go over to Titan Gaming.
I think this is how they wanted to play game 1. But they couldn't because Akon and Vesu just both brought cleanse.
An ultimate suppress, and you're gone just like that. TG Boom are out rotating and outpacing the side of Solar Flare, looking to pick up a 3rd kill here. That's a double kill for TG Boom. He goes to 3-0-2. 7-1 goes the score. And I agree, Zallies. I think this is how they wanted to play game 1. But I think that they put themselves in a little bit of a corner because you can't with Karthus play like this.
Yeah, and I don't know if Kha'Zix is the pick either. He's doing fine on it, but I just don't know if that's the pick. Like even if they come back to win this game, like I think throughout the season, the big thing about like Vesu and MZ Shady's weaknesses were covered by the way Masklink played and the champions that Masklink played. Like for example, I'd just like to reference my quarterfinals because here's where I really, really give kudos to Masklink. With Vesu, he liked to play like pretty safe, which was also punishable through like CS leads and stuff, right? But whenever I'd get a minion, like whenever I'd get the wave in like a really ideal spot for me, the same thing happened with MZ Shady actually. Whenever I'd get it in an ideal spot for me, Masklink would run in on the Olaf and he would just break my freeze or he would break my slow push. He'd reset it, but combat actually happening.
Mastlink's actually getting caught out right now. Karma is there to back him up.
And nothing seems to come of that.
He also got shut down early by this fantastic jungler we keep talking about, almost a dozen. And the good communication from the side of Titan Gaming, like that triple buff into double scuttle, gave a huge experience advantage. As they're looking to set up another kill here in the bush.
Also, really nice Ashe skin. Just pointing out. Beautiful skin. And such good play so far from Titan Gaming.
Yeah, they're really dominating in this one. They are 1 away from Soul Point. Looks like they're going to pick up this Herald right here as well.
And if they can get Ocean Soul, like, it doesn't matter that Vladimir's, like, sustain God, because all of a sudden, everybody on Titan Gaming is Vladimir too. Like,
yeah, they're going to have crazy healing, especially champions like Maokai, who already have healing built into the kit, and are so tanky and so hard to kill. He'll be able to just be a CC machine for his carries. And he's got 3 big carries right now.
Yeah,
you could say even just 4. He's the tank. He's got 4 carries.
In last year's finals, actually, there was a Maokai with Ocean Soul who 1v5'd for 50 seconds, I think it was, and lived, and got 2 kills. Just because of Ocean Soul.
Was that Yorick?
It was Yorick.
Yeah, I think that's clipped somewhere.
Yeah, I have the clip available. But TG Hyperion showing the power of the tree.
Yeah, and the Essence Scatter is going to make them scatter a little bit. Here comes the Rift Herald getting popped, though. And Brando is in that push. A nice silence and a huge amount of damage. The ultimate's going to follow up, and that is going to be a kill onto Mobron. He goes down. The score goes to 8-1. And now, Solar Flare's in a little bit of trouble. They've got a marching Rift Herald and 5 healthy members.
They might just be able to pop open and expose the inhib, but it looks like they will just back up after the shot. So not fully, but safe. Inhib low. It's
hard
actually
to dive Vladimir and Cassiopeia.
It's also pretty bad to go for getting the tower would be optimal, but going for an inhib at this point is actually pretty bad. Because at that point, you're just letting the Vladimir keep a permanent freeze while getting 90 gold on the cannon on like the super minions, and it's just you're letting him scale.
It would be a good inhib to get though, because Dragon is going to be up in 140, and that cross map pressure would be huge. They are 5k even ahead right now, sitting on those 3 dragons. Have so much vision on that top side jungle there. They just lit it up. Look at that on the minimap.
Yeah. Mobron actually setting up pretty good defensive vision for this dragon, though. Something that needs to be credited. Like, he might not be having the best game KDA-wise, but they have, like, a pretty good idea of where the team is.
MZ Shady getting engaged on by Hyperion. Phase Rush is proc, and he's just going to be able to back up as Brando is now infiltrating the side of bot side river and clearing out some wards.
Kozak's also doing what almost a dozen did to him in level 1 or level 2 or whatever, and actually just starting the combat. And
and he's going to do a lot of damage. Here comes a teleport, though, from the side of... Oh, I think this is going to be it. Oh, a nice heal here. TG Boom keeps him alive. They're able to trade 1-for-1.
Yeah, and MZ Shady doing a lot of damage, though, having to just flash away. Dealing DPS when they can off the side, and they actually get MZ Shady before he falls down. What is that Malzahar ult range?
Off before the jump finishes. That's the cleanse, though, to get away from the Maokai. The rest of the fight is going down. Vezu having to flash away. Vezu trying to slither around the side of the river here, and a nice silence comes out. That's a good amount of damage. You're going to have to use the blast cone in 1 second to get over the wall. He still could go down, though. He's at about 10 health. Oh, my God.
So good to start for Solar Flare, but Hyperion was like, look, you rocked me around game 1, but I'm not taking this shit anymore. And he played that as well. Like, there wasn't a way to play that better, but Ezreal actually could steal. He doesn't.
Ooh.
That's... I love this game. League of Legends is beautiful.
And Titan Gaming take a very commanding lead here at 22 minutes and 47 seconds.
Now, I don't want to call it too early, but crack open your corianders because I think we have a series.
I think we've got a real series. Acid Step catching out Kha'Zix right now with so much damage as he's going to burn down, and Kindred is here to do the rest of it. But Vezu's got the support. Vladimir's lurking in the bushes. They see Maokai bottom. They should know his teleport is up. But he is there right now. And Brando maybe overstepping a little bit.
And a small lull state after moments upon moments of action. But the big objective here now is just the Baron, and getting appropriate vision set up for it.
Yeah, making these fights work for each team. We see a lot of focus now into. Oh, that's
jungle's down. That's got to be Baron, right?
Gone. That's gonna be Baron.
That's Baron. I mean, even if they have to play it slow, they have Ocean Drake. It doesn't matter.
They have Ocean Drake. They are gonna see Vezu in the bot lane. He has to teleport to match that of DG Hyperion's. They spot it out with the Vision Ward there.
Oh, TP actually getting cancelled from Vezu, but
he's gonna go in and just have to fight Vezu. He is a level down, but I don't think you can kill him.
No, I think Hyperion actually kills him. He W's the ult. Vezu's dead. Vezu's dead. He has no flash. He dies.
I think he will go down. Both of them healing a lot. TG Hyperion has this Baron now on the side, and he's just gonna smack that snake around.
Oh. I think Titan Gaming, no flame to the individual players, but they're one of those teams that, like, it's like the puzzle piece analogy, right? Like, their team added together is more than the individual parts.
Sure.
Right, and I think
they work so well as a team, but no one is, other than maybe almost a dozen, no one really shows insane mechanical prowess or, like, dominates without the rest of the team, right?
Yeah, I think almost a dozen is maybe like I think it's him and Boom are like they're the big like mechanical stars, but also like the huge brain players. Right, like and being a good teammate is its own skill within a 5v5 league, right? So like for example, game 3 against Glue Eaters, we saw Hyperion, who was Flak Pack at the time, go down. Like, there's actually combat, so I'm gonna pause.
They're looking for Mass Link. I think he will get out with his ultimate.
Yeah, he does just walk away from that, but it's important to pause in moments like that because you never know when everything hits the fan.
Uh-oh, they could be looking over this wall. They could land a Zyra E, and they do. This is a lot of damage coming out, and the ultimate's going to follow, but he's dead before it can connect. And with Ezreal gone, you don't have all the heal cutting you just did. You don't have the same slows in the peel. You don't have the same damage. I think they are going to be able to knock down at least an inhib, if not look for a fight immediately after. This TG Hyperion is so tanky.
Yeah, Maokai with Ocean Soul is the strongest thing in the game. I would genuinely need convincing that there's something more powerful.
They're going to rotate now to the top lane here, just push this lead with this Baron. We do see Acid Step has a teleport advantage, and he's going to rotate to the bot lane and try to split the resources that Solar Flare can allocate here.
Masklink might actually be caught out here, and he is. He doesn't fall down, though.
Oh.
And a nice 4-1 coming in from Titan Gaming. Whoever's calling this is... their brain is actually, like, it's like expanding out of their ears right now. This is exactly what you would see in an LCS level game from this point onward.
Yeah, their macro has been really, really solid. And we talked about how solid it was from the very beginning when we saw Maokai use all of his mana to get that prio so that they could double scuttle him. I mean, their ability to work as a team and call these shots, find these picks has been so, so good. If we head into a game 3, I would assume Solar Flare are still going to take the red side, but we might finally see draft changes, or we just might not for bans. We saw the first 3 bans on each side, and the at least first round picks be identical to game 1.
I think we see a Malzahar ban.
Yeah?
Yeah, I don't think that if Titan Gaming close out this game like we expect them to, I don't think Malzahar makes it to game 3.
We could see different bans come out. They're doing a lot better job being able to handle this Vladimir this game because they're not focusing around him. They're not really trying to even fight him. They're putting him in a spot where they're saying, you can't really engage on us because we have the safety of this Kindred here. So you can blow your load early, but then we get to return ours.
Kindred, such a good pick. He's good at every stage of the game. I like the Kindred. I like the Graves. I like Nidalee. Those are all picks. Nidalee less so, but Kindred and Graves are both just like... They're an ADC and a jungle combined, and Titan Game actually just going for the Elder. It looks like Solar Flare's all together wanting to path down, but...
They want to path down, but they don't know if they can. That ultimate from Ezreal is going to connect onto the Zyra, but the Elder is already finished up, and look how much damage this is going to do. So they just burn and tick away. They're going to rotate to the bot lane now, and I think they will be able to end the game off of this push.
Yeah, I think there's a fight into a Nexus.
Yep.
And just beautiful, beautiful macro play coming out from Titan Gaming.
Yeah, and it really all started with that jungle, the ability for the team to work around almost a dozen, which is something that's a lot easier to do for Kindred than Karthus. I hope they keep them on these playmaking champions, these champions that can actually do things in the early game. They take their second inhibitor of Solar Flares, and now are rotating to where they already have some supers.
Yeah, I think they're... Oh my god!
They're gonna melt down MZ Shady.
That...
I think they can push the end here. They're calling different stuff, though.
That is what I mean when I say they need to be able to burst down the Vlad. That is exactly what I mean, right? If you can't do that, Vlad carries.
Yeah, and they just go in without a wave and delete the tower and the inhibitor here on the top side. And Solar Flare know that they're not going to be able to pull this out. They're going to try their damnedest here, but they're probably talking about game 3.
Yeah, and this is such good momentum for Titan Gaming, though, because there's 2 things to know. 1, Titan Gaming is used to losing game 1, right? So that didn't do anything for them. They're like, look, we lost game 1 to Glacial. Glacial got knocked out in quarters. They were what, 5th seed, I believe. So it's like, we're used to it. And then furthermore, it proves that Solar Flare is mortal.
Yeah, they lose their first game. So let's see how they're mental and how they bounce back in game 3.
But so far, like, both games, just so beautiful from both teams.
A damage charge for this Maokai, too. Look at this. I know he's just slapping Vladimir all game, but still.
I will switch over to the lobby screen right now. And we do see, actually, Maokai doing the second most damage in the game. Honestly, Kindred's damage is a lot lower than I thought. Same with Ashe. They actually have the least damage on their team.
They never poked. Those 2 champions never poked. Ashe all in, and Kindred only fought to kill. And I think that's why their damages are so low. Like, these champions like Malzahar and like Maokai were just kind of harassing in their lanes, like just fighting over and over again, trading, backing. That's why their damage is so much lower.
Interesting statistic as well. Kha'Zix actually had the highest damage taken in the game.
That's crazy.
He topped it out at 30k, and the second closest was Maokai at 27.
Yeah, I think that Kha'Zix pick did come to bite them in the butt, but only because Titan Gaming's macro early and throughout the whole game was so good it shut him down.
Yeah, and it's so nice that like the solo lanes played for jungle prio that game. They knew that like almost a dozen is going to be like the dictator of who like of whether we win this game or not. They played around him, they played with him, and they just played so damn well. They clearly had a game plan and they followed it to a T.
Well, there will be a game 3, thankfully, and we've got a real series on our hands now. I know there's a couple people that were all on this Solar Flare in 4 hype train. That is very possible now, but I gotta say, the momentum, like you were saying, is with Titan Gaming.
Yeah, I'm excited. The second we have a series, like the first series final, the first finals that has a series, and it's the highest level league. Which watching economy was wonderful, watching executive was wonderful, but this is the highest level gameplay that we're going to get within the LBLCS right here, right now. The first team to take off a game from Solar Flare is the underdogs. It's Titan Gaming, the 4th seed.
Yeah.
People were laughing in their faces, right? Like it was just like I remember at the start of quarterfinals, Glue Eaters talking, "Hey, who are we gonna face in the finals?" Glue Eaters isn't in the finals. It's Titan Gaming.
Yeah, it's Titan Gaming in the final, and you know what? These guys play to the level that the other team is, and I think we're gonna see MZ Shady and the other big powerhouses on the side of Solar Flare kick it up a notch in game 3. If you stop game 1, it does 2 things to your mental. 1, probably makes you a little overconfident. Makes you could relax a little bit, like, oh, yeah, it's best of 5. We won game 1, but it wasn't really that close, right? Now you get beat down. Now those picks that you just picked, they had counters for. They're able to play around you guys. You got bodied a little bit in the jungle. What else can you whip out in game 3? Do you take red side still, or do you go blue side because you're looking for certain picks?
Yeah, I think side selection. It appears that Solar Flare is taking blue side, judging by how they're ordering.
True.
What I would like to say, though, unrelated really to my opinions on how to play the game, I want to see almost a dozen get another Shyvana game in. just because I want to see if his Shyvana is always that good.
And we do see that finally they are going to switch sides. It's 100% confirmed. A blue side for Solar Flare in game 3. So they started off the series in the same 2 spots, and Solar Flare says we need to mix it up a little bit.
Yeah, I'm interested in what they're going for. I think they want to first pick the Ashe for Akon. I think that's why they want blue side.
I think the same thing.
If it's not, then
you ban the Aphelios, you take the Ashe. You probably force TG Boom onto Caitlyn or Ezreal. He is a big Caitlyn player. That's why I'm throwing that name out there.
And honestly, I think they could even just ban the Ashe. And like, I think if there's a matchup that their top laner is comfortable playing into Illaoi, I honestly think you can drop the ban.
Yeah, maybe.
Because even though MZ Shady is a beast,
yeah,
and an Illaoi man, at the end of the day, Illaoi still has some Like she plays a very unique way. And if you're comfortable playing around that, then it's not going to be so much of an issue for you as losing the bot lane, which has been like a pinnacle for how you win, right? Like we just saw Titan Gaming. They got their mid ahead, and then the jungle mid synergy duo, they went bot and they transferred the lead there. Top was a null factor. MZ Shady was just as fed as he was in game one.
Well, what I was gonna say is you want your tank in the top lane. This Hyperion or Flat Pack, if you watch the regular season, you want him to have whatever comfy matchup he wants. They saw the Vladimir locked in, and I think he had a sigh of relief. He's like, okay, I just played into this. I was a giant tank, and it worked. The problem is our team couldn't handle the Vladimir come late game. So if your team can handle the Illaoi come late game, if you've drafted the right way to deal with the way Illaoi fights in team fights, then I agree with you.
Yeah, and I think if they draft similar to how they did game one, okay, the Illaoi ban comes out. So
Right away,
know what I
Pelias as
said.
well. Same bands so far.
Yeah, Azure ban coming out as well. Now the only thing is like I feel like Titan knows that they're gonna steal Ashe first pick, and that's why they're taking blue side. Malzahar ban actually coming out though, which leaves.
Okay.
What was the ban they replaced?
Set.
Set. Okay. So I don't think Set is going to be super like a
Called
super
it to a
high
T.
priority for them.
Called it to a T. Ashe is picked up here for Solar. They're going to take it away from TG Boom. I think Titan knew that this was going to happen. How are they going to respond, though, right now? And it is going to be that Caitlyn I was talking about, not yet locked in, but they're hovering it. I think that is what they want to do. Because that ultimate, you can still help get picks on Caitlyn, right? If someone else has that engage tool, you don't need that ultimate to follow up. If you have that ult damage, maybe you can force a summoner, maybe you can finish off the kill.
Yeah, and
So,
it is
similar
Caitlyn
idea.
Morgana just locked in right
Oh.
away. So Ashe ult is nulled. The lane is done. Like you can't draft into that anymore. It's a
So
set lane.
I think what you're doing here, though, is you want to get a strong jungler before they're able to continue to ban it out. We saw a lot of bans thrown at Master Link last game. The Olaf is gone, but there's other things that are open right now. And if you don't take jungler here, now you could always take a flexible mid top, but if you don't take jungler here, what you're doing is you're forcing your jungler into a corner again, where they could have full counter for almost a dozen to try to run rampant on him. It's gonna be the Volibear locked in. Titan Gaming looking at their third pick. Now everyone could hold their solar lanes for the last 4 picks of the game, but Diana is currently getting hovered and locked in for the side of Titan Gaming.
And that is Acid Step's champion right there.
Yeah.
The Diana.
Yep. They're gonna take the Vladimir away. I think that's a good idea, but there's a lot of stuff open. We have seen MZ Shady and Vezu switch lanes. We've seen them work with very different champ pools. This could be a game where you see something like Mordekaiser come out, and you throw Vezu into the top lane, and you play another big carry in the mid lane on MZ here. We've talked about like Titan Gaming in game 1 never really got to 5v5 team fight. It's all they did in game 2. So if you could disrupt that, as Kindred's getting banned out from almost a dozen, well as the Graves, if you could disrupt that anyway with stuff like Mord, maybe you have a better chance here. But I think the biggest thing about last game is Titan Gaming kept pulling the trigger before Solar Flare was ready.
Yeah, and I like the Graves and Kindred bans. They both do the same thing, so it's replaceable. But we finally get to see the Nidalee. This is both teams. Well, mostly Titan Gaming though, just getting like their champions, like champions that you know them for.
Oh,
That's MZ Shady. That's MZ Shady.
That's MZ Shady, and he's. I think they. Oh, and that's
Vesu's going top. Vesu's going top with Mordekaiser.
Yep. This is what I was talking about. This is Vesu being able to disrupt the team fights and MZ Shady playing another huge carry that, you're putting Titan Gaming on the clock now. You are saying, hey, if you can't deal with this early and get yourself a big lead and facilitate it, come level 11, come level 16 for Kassadin, he can solo carry this game. And we've seen MZ Shady go up. He was farming something like 13 CS a minute last time he played this champion. So
Yeah, I believe he played that in the semifinals, game 2 against Canadian KFC.
game 1 or game 2? He played Corki and Cass, right?
In semifinals, I think he played Kassadin and Alawi.
Oh, you're right. Because he played Corki against.
Yeah, Alawi was game 1, so this was game 2 of the semifinals. MZ Shady Kassadin.
Yep. We're going to head into a game 3. We're going to see how many games we have. One team will go up 2-1 in this series. Who are you putting your money on here, Zelius?
I don't know. Titan Gaming's macro in game 2 was so good, and I feel that Solar Flare's weakness, the only thing that I'm actually kind of leaning against Titan Gaming is they dropped a tank in favor of Set. But I felt the reason that it was so strong having a tank is because Solar Flare pretty much only goes double AP solo lanes. Like when the Alawi isn't let through, right? It's like, it's Vladimir Cassio. You get Abyssal Mask, you get Adaptive Helm.
Yeah. I will say, though, that the Set is the pick that they are using in a team fight that counters this Volibear, right? Volibear dives in and Set says, nope, back out, you go. Keep my guys safe. They have pretty good range on them, so Volibear is really just trying to sprint on in there. And if Set can disrupt that, then you're able to actually kite back with these longer range carries. Diana not so much, but Set gets to go in with Diana.
Yeah. And
we're got a Caitlyn super safe, though.
I think Kassadin's kind of similar to Vladimir, right? Like, if they can play to a point where Kassadin's not scaling, like, you give up mid-prio, but I think Kassadin's pretty decent into Diana, if I'm not mistaken.
Kassadin is pretty decent in Diana. She's a melee. She's ability power focused. So, yep. We see Vezi lock it in, so 100% confirmed. They're probably going to see some teleports taken on a lot of these champions too. I'm not sure what Kassadin and Diana will take in the mid lane because they both have kill pressure on each other. We could see aggressive summoners taken, but I'm going to assume it's teleports because they both have side. They can both split like crazy.
But I think it has to go late enough for that to happen. And I think Titan Gaming, if they can do what they did in game 2, like, their Titan Gaming's comp is pretty different, but I think, like, holistically, Solar Flares is pretty similar.
I think Solar Flare have declared to the world how they like to play the game. They like to put the other team on a clock to win. And if you can't win, Solar Flare is. They've done it with how they draft. They always draft these late game, bigger carries. They do have Akon the Kid finally on Ashe this game. So maybe you'll see him help make some plays around this Volibear. They have a lot of like hold you in place. Nami, Ashe, Volibear can hold you in place for a long, long time. They have really solid disengage and engage on both sides here. I think a lot better disengage for the side of Solar Flare, but still.
I think I might still go Titan Gaming in game 3 here.
Hey, you know what we've talked about every single time while loading in?
What's that?
It's what do the junglers do early? And I think that is what this game is yet again. If they can shut down Masslink, if Nidalee can get the same kind of lead or any type of impact going on in the lanes, like set TG Boom ahead. TG Boom's ahead, he stays ahead. So it's the impact of almost a dozen again. Can he facilitate the tempo of the game? Because if he can facilitate the tempo of the game or create the tempo of the game, then you're looking at Titan Gaming taking it. And if not, if the game goes even for the first 12, 13 minutes, and there's not a huge fight that breaks out that puts Titan Gaming in the lead, I think this is all Solar Flare. This is all Solar Flare if that doesn't happen.
Yeah, it's definitely a jungle diff so far. At least whatever junglers had, like, the more impactful tempo to the lanes.
Yeah.
has come out on top.
Saw Volibear in game 1. Masslink gets it again in game 3. So.
But one thing from my personal opinion where I will credit Titan Gaming was game 1, to me it looked more like Titan Gaming making mistakes rather than Solar Flare making the best proactive decision. And game 2 was on Titan Gaming's win was them making the proactive plays, right? So I think that looks a little bit better. Like their win looks a little better so far in this Tide series.
When you get to play as a team, as a unit, walking around looking for the pick, for Titan Gaming, that is where they are strongest. They are macro strongest, right? On the side of Solar Flare, they want to just show you that they are better. Their solo lanes are so good. And it kind of got nullified the last game with the Vladimir Maokai matchup. Like, yeah, Vladimir was better. He was up 90 CS by like 20 minutes. It was insane. He was at 170, 180-ish, and Maokai had not even hit 100 yet. So we'll see how much more impactful it is. Now they're going to play against different solo laners, though, right? They're rotating.
Yeah, and MZ Shady is a beast, and he will be in the mid lane.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that also makes it a little easier to shut down like what is arguably Solar Flare's best player, because now he's centralized, right? He doesn't have to go, or like almost doesn't have to go out of his way anymore to shut down like Solar Flare's best
doesn't
player.
Doesn't have to risk Dragon pressure or Herald pressure, right? By playing around, middle. If you stay center as a jungler, you have a lot more prior for those things, especially scuttles too. There's 35 seconds before we load into game 3 of the CEO League Finals. So it takes 2 to tango for me. I'll be right back.
All right. And then when he returns, it'll take 2 to tango for myself. But for right now, it looks like we are about to load into the game. And I think bot lane should always have priority for Titan Gaming. And I think I think Kassadin might actually... I think Kassadin's pretty good in Diana, but I could be wrong on that. And then, aside from that, I mean, top should be pretty bouncy. Set versus Mordekaiser, both pretty common tops lately. And we are loading into game, so allow me to switch over some settings for that.
We are loading on in. I've returned from fridge.
Welcome back. It will also take 2 to tango for me once I switch over the images.
The overlays and the scenes. Good. Guys,
Yes,
I want to know what chat thinks. We've seen the first 2 games. The score is 1-1. It's been intense. It's been crazy. Nami back on the heel for Mobram. The cleanse for the Ashe. And we do see the Ignite for Diana and a teleport for Kassadin. So 2 mid laners going to be taking a little bit different sums here. But I want to know what chat thinks. Evding is still confused about whether or not Spin Doctors won game 1. No, but if Spin Doctors played against Titan Gaming, they probably would have won game 1. Although, wait, no, that's a series I'd like to watch because your guys are cursed. So is Titan Gaming. I don't think anyone would win. It'd be a draw somehow.
Yes, it would be basically after 4.5 hours, the game would just break because nobody won, and it was just close, and there'd be no reason in replaying it because it would just happen again. So it would count as a tie in which mystically there was no winner of game 1, not even the viewers, because they had to watch a 4.5 hour game. That didn't even result in a victory.
Yeah, we would call it a best of 4 if you guys played, because we would go right to game 2. Game 1 never happened. Let's go right to game 2. We are loading in, though. People are saying TG in chat, Titan Gaming. They definitely have the momentum here, Zelius. Whether or not you're tangoing right now.
I'm not currently tangoing. I'm tangoing once the game loads in. I'm going to fix all the settings and then tango real quick.
All right. Well, thankfully, both junglers taking Smite. That's very important.
Has there been a situation where the jungles did not take Smite?
Yeah, and we had to restart the stream because they wanted to leave the game, and we had to leave the spectators.
What Was this a finals or was this a?
No, it's a league game.
Well,
It happens though. It can happen.
it happens to the worst of us.
You're talking in comms. You might not be fully on with what you're doing for your specific champion or your runes or anything. Dark Harvest here taken from almost a dozen on this Nidalee. His Nidalee is really scary. We've seen how impactful it is, how fast it can farm. Started the queue. And another aggressive early game strat here from the side of Titan Gaming. I like this. I like this a lot out of them. Morgana Caitlyn can really be oppressive level 1-2. If you start that binding, if you hit it, it's huge. Especially if TG Boom decides to go traps. I don't think he would in this instance. Now it is warded out and they've already backed up. Okay. They're going to trade vision, so they're able to ward nearby the Raptors here. In that little bush between Tier 1 and Tier 2 mid towers here. TG Hyperion is going to walk right on it right now. I'm sure he'll get pinged out by the team. Oh, no pings come out, but they must know that he is there walking up top. He walks the safe way just in case they are trading objectives or buffs here. Mass Link and Vezi starting over by the blue. Pretty calm beginning after what could have been a very startling one. But we've seen this. We've seen this in this series, and I think we will continue to see it for the most part. Pretty calm level laning phases rather early on. Early level laning phases have been very, very calm. Not a lot going on. Acid Step is going to step up onto MZ Shady there for a moment. But to no avail anywhere. Everyone just farming. Trading a little bit here and there. A flash forward though from Brando is going to force Mobronz.
I have tangoed. I am back.
Hello, Tangoer. Summoners blew their flashes. That's about it.
I see. Did the summoners blow the flashes due to jungle attention or just from very, very active laning?
Brando and TG Boom on this oppressive bot lane hit level 2 first, and we saw Flash Bind miss because Mobron flashed it.
Just like what I like to see. And lane's going as you would expect, I'd say personally. I think it's pretty interesting that Acid Step has the push actually, but I think Diana's a bit of a brain dead champion. No discredit to him, he's good at it. She just gets prio so easy.
The passive, the auto passive.
The auto passive with the W is just like,
yeah.
What can you do? And then Caitlyn Morgana being, like you said, very aggressive. Already 10 CS lead in the bot lane.
Yeah, Hyperion on his favorite champion too. He's going to get pulled not under tower though. Has that Haymaker right now. He's going to use it to clear some minions, but it doesn't connect on to Vesu. There's a couple hundred gold lead here for the side of Titan Gaming early on, which chat is saying Titan Gaming is going to take this series.
Now, that would be cool.
Ev Dingus, thank you for the bits. We're very proud to have you as well. Good pride. Acid Step trading with MZ yet again, but Nidalee is nearby. This is not going to hit. Spear's not going to. She's going to get a red buff proc and heal Acid Step and walk away. Looked like he was leaving, but he's returned back again. MZ Shady just going to get traded onto. Hyperion and Vesu just brawling it out here in the top lane, but I think this might be huge. Oh, it does not connect in the true damage of the Haymaker.
Yeah, if that was the sweet spot, that would be so good. So that would be at least a flash.
He could have flashed to put him into it to kill him there, but he opted not to. He's getting tanked up in top lane. He will go down the flash is what he has to burn. He is able to pull him in and live for an extra second, but first blood goes over to Vesu, that's huge for Solar Flare.
He does burn Maskling's flash as well, though, which is good.
Yep. Rando's standing on a ward right now. Maybe he knows, maybe he doesn't. Oh, and Acid Step is roaming down here. They're going to catch out Nami, who they know has no summoners. Had the heal, but decided not to use it. We knew they burned the flash. It was the same timer as Morgana's. I'm sure that they were talking about it. Another really good roam from Acid Step this game.
Yeah, and like bot lane seems to be the key to winning right now in the LVLCS across the board. And like going back to semifinals of Executive yesterday, the reason that I assumed Bill Withers to win, which again, no flame to the individual players, but in my eyes it was Chibi versus N7 Shepherd.
I think a lot of people were saying this in chat as well, yeah.
Right, and it's because it's like the two diamond players, right? Obviously.
Yep.
And
oh my
from
god, he's getting so low in the top lane.
Vesu is actually might die.
Lower, but he's got a lot of damage onto Vesu. He might be able to finish it up. The Q is proc, but it's unable to. He's got the 6 now. Vesu has the flash.
Acid
They're
Step
going all in, but MZ has his ability to leave. He's gonna go and ult him further away. He does get some distance. He's gonna get pulled back now. The Haymaker is gonna connect. Now he's trying to trade onto the right people, but he will go down. It's 2 deaths now for this set.
Maskling just really playing for top side, which is unfortunate because I think Hyperion's actually playing the individual lane so well. Like, if this is just a 1v1 solo island, like we say top lane is, then I think Hyperion's 2 kills up.
Yeah, he's doing a really good job beating Mordekaiser in these trades. And, you know, had he had that level 6 earlier in that fight before the roam of Volibear, he definitely could have finished him off. He had a flash for that Haymaker, could have finished him off. So, but Titan Gaming trading pressure into the bot lane. Yeah, they're down 2-1, but they have the Dragon. They have a little bit of a gold lead. They're roaming yet again. Acid Step spotted out this time. This is dangerous roaming down a lot, though, if you can't get anything out of it. As MZJX is free farm, he speeds that clock up.
Yeah, but I think without the priority in bot or mid to get the dragons, it's one of those things that if Titan Gaming can get Soul under any circumstance, the clock, like, it just breaks. It's a broken clock. The stopwatch is done. Because Soul, especially, they're guaranteed to get Mountain or Infernal. Either way, they either deal shit tons of damage or they don't take any. And MZ Shady actually has to burn flash.
The flash from MZ Shady. But yeah, continue. Either they get a bunch of damage or they're really, really hard to kill, right?
Yeah, and either way, it's like the fights either last longer in favor of TG or they kill them quicker in favor of TG.
Right.
So that's where I think that the lack of priority in the bot lane is really, really helping TG out. And picking a scaling mid like Kassadin, like, although MZ Shady's an absolute beast, there's, like, you could have the rank 1 player, you could have Magifelix playing Kassadin, right? And he's not going to be able to get easy prio in a lane that Kassadin shouldn't have prio in.
Right. But Volibear is around that favored Rift Herald. Now, Solar Flare has picked up in both games the first Rift Herald of the game. They usually drop it in the top lane, but they're going all in the mid lane. MZ Shady knocking so much damage onto Acid Step, who only has his Ignite up. No flash available, but just escapes with his life there in what could have been a deadly situation.
Price is averted, though, and low kill count again. I think this is the most balanced game. There's no snooze and no fiesta. It's just kills where kills are able to be grabbed.
Masklink bothering set. That's what this game is right now.
Yeah, I agree. And then boom, abusing Akon.
Yep, I think there is a big discrepancy in the bot lane that we've seen in all 3 games. Even the game where Solar Flare won, bot lane, still for the side of Titan Gaming, has been looking so clean and so good.
Acid Step going like head to head in MZ. Every game I've seen with MZ Shady by this point has had a huge CS lead, regardless of anything. But Acid Step saying no, I'm not giving you anything for free, and they're head to head in CS. And Acid Roam looking to roam every time it's available.
I'm just glad we got a first blood earlier in the game. This game, that's all.
I agree.
Here comes Nitty. They're trying to bait it out a little bit. They're gonna go in. Riftwalk hasn't been used yet, and Volibear's nearby, giving pressure to this Kassadin farm. They're trying to find Bobron though. They know he left bot lane.
Acid Step
might be out of position.
Yeah, stepping a little far, but he actually has his bot lane with him, Morgana in the jungle. Going in on Mask Link, I don't know if this is going to be good for him or not. He's taking a lot of damage. He all comes out.
With a nice tidal wave. Oh, a huge double ult combination onto Morgana's going to drop her pretty low. But no one can follow it up.
And Volibear ult traded for Diana ult. Dragon is alive. And I think, ultimately, that's a better trade than...
Brando's mid lane now, though. They're looking for it. He's going to show now. He's going to flash forward. The binding misses. Now they're going to connect the ultimates. This is a lot of damage. If he goes over this wall, he still will get hit by Morgana's ult.
He's dead. They got dragged for sure, right? And then...
Yep.
Win conditions are being played to. Titan Gaming is saying, look, you guys might be great players, but we're going to stick to our game plan, right? We're going to have macro, and that's the third game in a row where second Dragon goes over to Titan Gaming.
To root up the Nami as well. As the Dragon is finally secured, and TG Boom does so much damage. Look at him dance around this bubble there. This is a game.
Brando mentioning that the master emote was a misclick. So not only is there a competitive play to this game, but there's integrity. And it's just, what more could you ask for in a finals?
Yeah, and it looks like, I really like, I think Brando's a little bit of an unsung hero on the side of Titan Gaming that we might want to start talking about more. His ability to force a lot of summoner spells, and he's not afraid to use all of his aggressively for his team. I think he's feeling his oats here. Nidalee's near Rift Herald right now.
Yeah,
Rift Herald of the game hasn't been picked up yet.
I think the only way that Titan Gaming can reasonably look for it is if they're able to get Vesu. Or kill the jungler. But it looks like they just, you know, Nidalee gave Volley a little kiss on the cheek and then left. But they're looking to invade on his blue. They have 4 topside.
Yeah, they're looking for a crazy play right here. And this is the macro. Now, that wasn't a perfect blast cone, but they are going to pick up Mass Link. The 3-2 scoreline in favor of Titan Gaming in Game 3 means that Rift Herald's going to be all theirs.
Titan Gaming is... They're playing very, very well.
Yeah, here is where Solar Flare can combat them, though. This Vesu pick on Mord, he goes pretty tanky early. We already see him have the heal cutting. He's going to be able to deal with a lot of these guys. He can take out somebody influential to these fights, like even just Morgana. And then all of a sudden, Caitlyn's super exposed, right? And MZ Shady, you know, even if MZ Shady's down, still farming fine for 13 minutes. Come level 16, we'll be able to absolutely one-shot Caitlyn. The problem is you got to get there.
First turret's going to go down in the mid lane as well with full plates. But what I'd like to add on to that is it's Mountain Soul. If they can get Mountain Soul, then Caitlyn doesn't have to worry about getting one shot.
TG Hyperion might have to worry about dying up here in the top lane. He should have his Haymaker available to use, though.
And he gets out. Yeah, I still think Solar Flare can win this game.
Absolutely.
Especially if Kassadin can stay even, and if Mordekaiser gets any further ahead, then there's a big problem.
Ultimate, I think, connected down there. I'm not sure if Black Shield is... We kind of, like, darted out with direct camera real quick.
Yeah, it's, I think it missed, or Black Shields came out.
Yeah.
What I would like to say, though, is regardless of the outcome of this game, I think something Solar Flare should consider is just like having either mid or bot with like way higher priority. Like really trying to get priority onto the lane.
Yeah. You have to have a lane that has really high priority. That's one of those. Like the ability having two, not at all losing lanes, but two lanes that don't have the push where the dragon is means that all the dragons are going to Titan, right?
And Vesu ulting Hyperion, it might just be a solo
I
kill
think he's
here.
got it, but if he does have ult up, he's gonna flash away. He will go down. The flash unnecessary to burn. But TG Hyperion, I think, was just praying that be able to juke a spell or two and get out with his life. Unable to.
Yeah, unfortunately, does go down, and Vesu is pretty big. He's the shining star for Solar Flare right now. 100% kill participation.
Yeah, he's the mid-game crutch for them, right? Like, he's gonna help carry them through this mid-game.
Acid Step going up, though, saying, look, you just killed my friend, like, I want you next. The TP actually coming up from MZ Shady, but not before Acid Step gets a kill. Acid Step does flash away, but he does fall.
Mobron.
And Nidalee one-shotting Mobron pretty well.
Oh, a nice block from Akon the Kid as well, as the spear does not reconnect. X-Ranger talking about that set shit up probably on that lane. We talked about how much set was winning that lane until Volibear ganked 6
Yeah,
times.
no. Volibear, it was definitely a 2v1.
Yeah.
But because Mordekaiser already has the lead, there's no arguing that the, let's see, the 1,000 gold advantage is helping the Mordekaiser out. Like, that bought him the Bramble Vest, right? Like,
they're looking to dive this bot lane. Here's an ultimate from Brando. The nice use of the Tidal Wave, but oh my god, so many things coming out. TG Boom, I think, is in a lot of trouble, but they're able to burn down Akon the Kid. He will go down in the back line to Brando. A nice trap is going to keep his support safe for a little bit longer. I think Brando's trying to sack himself so that his teammate can get out. He's going to walk back around him, and he knows he might go down. He's going to get the binding and slow down. MC Shading now chasing out TG Boom, and a huge flare is coming in. They're going to be able to pick up all these kills, and Solar Flare is saying, no way, we're not going down without a fight. They pick up Cassidy, though. Are these guys going to get out of this fight?
and it looks like they just might. If
Oh
TG
God,
almost doesn't heal so much.
Too many tower shots. He's gonna turn it. Wow. Wait,
Welcome.
he is actually a mad lad.
Welcome to the League of Legends.
Holy shit, dude.
Good lord. And that's third dragon going over to Titan Gaming.
Yo, honestly though, I don't care what you say about how good Almost a Dozen was there, or like how over, I don't know, how much they wanted that kill for Solar Flare. The micro from TG Boom, if you go and rewatch that and clip that, was actually like picture perfect.
No,
he
no,
could not have played it better.
I agree. I thought he was inting at first when he E'd backwards into the Volibear, but then I saw that the E was coming down, and then it was just...
Mm-hmm.
that was
Dude,
that was
it
wonderful.
Crazy. It was crazy. TG Boom, captain of his team, really popping off. Now Solar Flare super on the back foot. I thought they were going to be able to turn that right there, get a bit of a lead. Now, that being said, you did get kills onto Volibear and Cassidy. And so they are clawing their way towards where they need to be, but...
What I will say to counteract that, though, is I don't think kills onto Volibear actually matters. And the kills onto Kassadin are only valid for so as long as Soul is still available for Solar Flare to grab.
Sure.
Brando looking to steal the blue, but he gets it away and he flashes. And that one wasn't an accident.
Yeah, we talked about, really there was only two massively micro players on TG that we thought Mobron might be going down right here. A nice bubble on himself is going to keep him safe as he heals and walks away. Talk about TG Boom and Almost a Dozen being the two, like you know, semi-stars, right? But we maybe didn't hype them up enough. I mean, they're crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I'll be honest, I said Solar Flare in 3, but at the start of the series I said Solar Flare in 5. But
Yeah.
that was more me trying to be caster hype. I was genuinely thinking it was Solar Flare in 3. But Titan Gaming is proving me wrong right now because it could be TG in 4 for how these games are going.
Yeah, and according to Almost a Dozen, it could be TG in 3, maybe 4 or 5.
Well, it can't be TG in 3. They lost game 1.
Well, maybe 4 or 5.
Maybe 4 or 5. But he was right.
Solar Flare are not out of this game, but it is going to be really hard to claw back in because they're going to pick up another Rift Herald here for Titan Gaming. Every single objective now, they're playing as a team, they're rotating together, they're making team plays, they're not making, they're not getting too risky with, like, if they don't have the reinforcements, they're not going for it, right?
one thing that you may know a little better than myself that I'm actually kind of to gauge the strength of Titan Gaming. When did Brando replace Maru as support?
Later on in this, I believe it was week 6 out of 7.
Okay, so that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah,
Ashault coming out actually hits.
Shady and Maslick might be able to trade onto him. They're deciding not to though because of some reason they're waiting for him to go over the wall. Now they're trading onto him. Now they've got a lot of damage, but the ultimate from Maslick's gonna keep him alive for a minute longer. He will go down in the end to MZ Shady. But back to your point, Brando has a different champ pool than Maru, and I think Brando has been playing really, really well around knowing the team's win conditions and playing as a team member.
Yeah, I just love seeing that, like, there's also a difference between a star player and a star teammate, right?
Yeah.
And like
Hyperion is a star teammate.
Yeah, exactly, that's the point, right? He's 0-3 right now. He's down 30 CS, and like, again, I mean, I don't want to bully the poor guy, but we saw him against Arthur Dent game 3, right? He was down 125 CS at one point. But
they know going in that he could be, and I
yeah,
think he
exactly.
gets the Buggleberry Finn treatment, and that's my name, and I'm gonna say it for a reason. First 2 seasons of LBLCS, I played top, and my team was just like, don't gank him, right? Don't ever give this guy any resources. He'll just do fine losing gracefully, and I think Hyperion almost won his lane if he wasn't camped.
Yeah, no, I don't even think you can say almost. I think that if Volibear did not come top at all, Hyperion would be 2, okay, maybe 2-1. Mordekaiser did have a nice play on him, but that was after he was already fed as well, right? Like, Mordekaiser was big by that point. And that's important not to forget.
Yeah, the Buggleberry Finn treatment, the X-Ranger treatment, whatever you want to call it. The top lane treatment, the island treatment, the isolation, the social distancing. Brando looking for Mobron. The binding is going to connect. TG Boom could have some damage. A nice bubble is not going to connect. The arrow misses, and a good use of this Black Shield keeps Caitlyn from getting CC'd there. Now we're looking at a fight, the ultimate from Maslick. He's going in. He's trying to zone him out, and Vezi's on the back line. He's doing a lot of damage as well. A nice spear, though, is going to connect. Oh, a huge use of the ultimate there to keep himself safe from Nidalee. Flashing around. Brando's the first to go down. Now TG are out of position, and this is what we're talking about. MZ Shady picks up a triple kill, and Solar Flare punch back. Make it a quadra.
Yeah, okay. Now it's looking really bad. Because
see, that's the fight they had to win too.
Yeah, Kassadin is huge now. The Soul is denied for another 5 minutes, which gives them pressure for Baron, it gives them pressure for everything, and that was really big for Solar Flare. But Titan Gaming's still very strong and only 1 soul point away, right? Like, even if it only comes to Nidalee having to int to steal, say, Drag when it comes up in 4 minutes, or inting to snag the dragon, like, he is up a level. That's 50 damage difference on the smite. Not much, but doable. And, I mean, I think that it was also a bit of a positioning flaw rather than pure strength. But the Kassadin being so big is definitely problematic at the moment.
Yeah, and that Herald did just make its little sound. They're probably going to have to drop it in the mid lane. Nidalee has to drop it very soon, and it does go down. MZ Shady. He's a big dude. That Lich Bane is near completion right now. It's got the Sheen already.
Yeah, I believe he needs about 800 gold, and it's completed. Not even, actually, like 750. It looks like Titan really just wanting to see if they can play for Baron, just getting vision around it.
Force a response. They want to pick here. They want to pick more than they... I mean, they want Baron probably more than they want to pick, but they're actually just looking for a pick with how they're dancing around here. Acid Step getting caught out, though. Gets CC. The Blast Cone sends him over in a nice bubble here. They are going to be able to use a lot of ultimates onto him, but oh my god, they stun up Caitlyn, and TG Boom goes... TG Bust goes down.
Yeah, and now it's 100% in the seat of Solar Flare.
Yeah, it's in their court.
It's MZ Shady versus the world. But the good thing for the side of Titan Gaming is even if this does end up in a loss, they get side select game 4 and they can just steal the Ashe back.
Yep. These Ashe picks in every league just constantly have been huge. I know we talk about what's really big, and obviously we see the Aphelios gone, but the ability for the ADCs to help participate in these picks from CC from afar. We've seen Varus been hugely influential in Executive League. Ashe across every single league has been big. This is every single team is just gonna first pick Ashe on blue side in this series.
And honestly, I mean, you can't blame them. It's a good pick. It, depending on the support matchup you get, it can get really easy lane prio. I mean, even in losing matchups, you still have good poke from your W. And, like, the ult is a game changer when it hits.
Yeah. Oh, he's going to start chasing him down. Nidalee is right there to back him up, and MZJ is going to hop right back over that other wall. Or just walk it out. I do like that Kassadin skin, I gotta say.
Yeah, I think that should be... It's Cosmic Reaver, right? I think that should be Kassadin's base skin. I mean, like, if you play Kassadin and you're not using that skin, like, refund. Play somebody else.
You better be on the count, the Dracula one. If you're not using it.
I'd like to see a pick on a Mobron, if possible.
Yeah, they were able to pick him a couple times earlier and then really set up for some stuff. They're talking about the timer. It's a minute. They're rotating over to it, but now they're sacrificing all this vision they had set up by Baron, and they know it's getting cleared out, which means they know where people are. They could go for a play.
No, they're going for a very aggressive play, but I like it. I mean, Ashley comes out and doesn't spot anybody.
She's walking up. Kassadin's in the back now. They're going to have to force Hyperion to back on this set and go in matches. They're getting wave prio here in the mid lane, and then I think they're just going to rotate over. The teleport is up for everyone that has it in the game. Oh, they're pushing for mid pressure. They're saying we see them both in the side lanes. They can't match this.
Yeah, they might actually just break, open the inhib. Yeah, you're right. Looks like they're not actually going for the inhib though. Vesu is TPing in, and Acid Step is dead.
Popping his Zhonya's is going to go all the way on Akon the Kin and try to zone them a little bit longer, but will go down in the end. Now this is not a good situation for the side of Titan Gaming as they're running away.
Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like a second Drake going over. Honestly, if I was almost a dozen, I would even consider inting for it, but it's already too late. They gave it up.
Yeah, you can't. I don't think you can there. If you int for that, bot wave is pushing in. You could just they could rotate as 5. They could look for an inhib right now. The one thing that's making you be able to be competitive is that Set is doing a really good job not dying in the side lanes where he's down. He's 1-4-1 sure, but he left laning phase 0-3-0, I think, or 0-3-1.
Yeah.
So, the fact that he's matching all of these guys in the side lane, isn't going down, and is just clearing the waves is really big because it's allowing the rest of his team to make plays, or at least try to make plays across the map. It's a lonely life being a top laner. It's a lonely life.
But a life nonetheless, so as long as you can keep chilling and farming, and there's always hope. But definitely Solar Flare getting these Mountain Dragons and just Titan Gaming not being able to get Soul is pretty sad.
It just happened. MZ Shady's level 16.
You know, Kassadin's Spike is harder at level 11 than it is at 16. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. If you disagree with me, you're wrong. Check yourself. Whatever the white girls on Twitter say. You're incorrect. Okay? Cry about it.
You're incorrect, okay?
I'm not explaining it. I'm not going in any depth about it. There's a fight in the top lane.
From the top lane, the Haymaker connects. Now the ultimate is being used, and Hyperion's dropping really low. He used the ultimate just to slow down the incoming damage. He flashes to Q. He's going to force the flash out of Vesu. And so is almost a dozen going to flash away from Cosmic Reaper. Cassidy coming in. He's doing so much damage. Look at the way he almost blows up Brando to start that fight. They're looking for the rest of him. He's going to be able to flash away. A heal is dropped. Be able to kill Caitlyn on the way out. Acid Step probably will go down. A nice bubble doesn't connect, but it is going to zone him a huge ultimate. It's not going to do enough damage to these giant tanky boys. Brando is the next to fall, and almost a dozen gets under his tower.
And honestly, I think that might just be game 3 going to Solar Flare.
Yep.
So a good start from Titan Gaming overall, but again, like, it seems that after like the second or third dragon, they just crumble down. And I think it all again just comes down to the priority outweighing the scaling ability, and Volibear ohm-wrecking the towers. So this is surely an end.
Yeah, they're gonna end the game right here. Set the stage for a game 4 as the series goes 2-1, and Solar Flare are on series point.
Alright, so looking at the damage charts. Yeah, Kassadin and Mordekaiser. Mordekaiser actually topping of the damage charts. Across Titan Gaming, pretty equal. On the side of Solar Flare, the only people that did damage were Mordekaiser and Kassadin. And this is kind of where I want Titan Gaming to have their top laner on a tank. Like, I know he likes the set, but an adaptive helmet and an abyssal mask, and it's just like, how does he die to the offensive of Kassadin and Mordekaiser? Like Akon had 7,000 damage. He almost did less than the Morgana on the side of Titan Gaming, right?
Yeah.
And it's just like, AD
Morgana
isn't your threat.
Very aggro though.
Yeah, but like, just regardless of what the case is, like, he's still going to be playing aggressive next lane, right? Like, yeah. Akon's damage has been very low all across the series. So having it so you just, play towards the strength of, like, not letting Akon be a utility player, and then just being able to ignore the main carry damages of the fact that they go double AP solo lanes every game so far. Just get your adaptive helm, get your abyssal mask, and then live your best life. But like, the set can't really do that.
The biggest. Oh, whoa. TG just selected red side.
Interesting.
So, what I was gonna say is the adaptive helm, yes, but one of the big things you talked about in draft before we got into game 3 was you didn't like the set. I agree. Imagine if they had a giant tank that was actually able to frontline for a long time, that could stay in Mortal for a while and escape with its life, or just not be too damaged when it comes out. Like, if they had Maokai, who was just building MR, would have been fine in every single fight. Look at how the damage spread was.
Yeah, just something that I would consider getting rid of. And like, he already showed that he's a fantastic Maokai. If they're gonna leave it up and he can go to toe with MZ Shady, then he's gonna be able to go to toe with Vesu, or even win against Vesu.
Right.
In the same vein, right? So like, don't switch up what's not broken. I think, like, don't fix it if it's not broken.
Right. Right. So 2 games on red is how Solar Flare started, and now they're gonna have 2 games on blue. Let's see if this is all part of Titan Gaming's strategy here. Every team that has selected side has one, so they've come in with plans and they've executed them well, right?
I agree.
Let's see if that happens again. Do you think we go to game 5? I know you said it to start. I know you haven't seen draft yet.
Yeah, I think draft is important for whether it goes to game 5. I think that the picks that Titan Gaming go for are, like, at least their preference picks aren't good in a 5v5 environment. Like Diana, for example, I don't think is super great in a 5v5 setting, even though it's Acid Steps, one of his better champions.
Yeah, I think it was fine. I think the big issue was that I think one reason it was fine is because it had so much wave prio early. It set them ahead bot lane. That Diana forced them ahead bot lane because of the ability to roam, the ability to push on that Kassadin. But most champions would probably be pushing into Kassadin.
Exactly, and like you have to be able to treat Kassadin should not be treated like a champion before 6. Right? Like if you even view Kassadin as something other than like a really 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 high prio cannon minion, then like you're playing against him wrong. But I do think that if they draft appropriately, Titan Gaming has shown good macro, solid macro, and a decent game plan in to Solar Flare, and they can come out on top.
Yeah, I mean, any team can win this. We are ready for draft here on the stream. Stream is hella whenever you guys are. I think we're gonna see ban changes. I know we haven't really seen a lot. We've seen like maybe one.
Yeah, it was just the Malzahar instead of the set, and I think
right. I think we're gonna see different bans though. I think they gotta have a different plan if they're gonna take again red side after we think blue side is so influential with this Ashe pick. I think we're gonna see.
I think they ban the Ashe, right? They have to.
They probably do. There's a chance they don't. I mean, they know that Solar's going to go for that Ezreal, right? If they ban Ashe. I mean, those are Akon's like clutches or fallbacks, right? I mean, Ashe and Ezreal. So
yeah, maybe we see a Varus, but lethality Varus not so meta anymore. He doesn't like leaning towards it.
Probably be on hit Varus. As both teams have said they're ready, and Solar Flare going to get the first ban of this one. It's still going to be Aphelios. TG Boom not allowed to play that champ. He will win the game.
Alawi still being the first ban as your final ban. If we don't see a ban change, I think I might, unless I see something really quirky with the draft, I'm leaning towards Solar Flare.
I will agree with you. The Malzahar is going to be banned away again. They really didn't like it. Titan were so good on it last game. They're going to continue with the Olaf ban. I'm assuming Ashe is locked in. We could see something change.
No. Yeah, no, Ashe first pick, and then like, do they just go Caitlyn Morgana again? They're like, hey, we like that lane. Let's change mid top. Maybe if they do that, I think there's a world.
We talked about what we didn't like from Titan Gaming, and it was mid top, right? The picks for it, we didn't like them. They're gonna take away the
They take the Volibear, and that actually might be Flak Pack going Volibear top. I don't think that's so. Jungle.
It could, but I don't think so.
And then do they? You don't think it's top?
I don't think it's jungle.
Oh, okay, no, yeah, I'm 95% positive it's top.
But the flex is there and it exists, right? Yeah. Of course, you could go jungle, but knowing what we know about almost a dozen, we're gonna say most likely in Flak Pack. That's his kind of champion too. Flak Pack, or Hyperion at this point. And Mobron sticking with his guns, or should we say waves?
Yeah, and probably just grabbing Morgana here as pick 3 for Titan.
I would think that is what they do, but then they're going to have a double ban out on their jungler again, and it's probably going to be Graves and something else. But then we could see Shyvana taken. I know you wanted to see it.
Yeah, I think that's okay, though, because I think they're
showing this early.
Yeah, that's interesting. But I think that almost a dozen's champ pool is way bigger than Mask Link's.
Yeah.
Right, Mask Link plays Volibear, Olaf, and I believe in solo queue he actually plays a decent amount of Graves. And I think he's played the Trundle before regardless, but like if you just ban out, say you ban Trundle and whatever. Or Kassadin's a good ban too, because you can assume Vesu's going top now with the Mordekaiser pick.
Yeah, I think maybe we see
Corki from
taken away.
Solar Flare. Corki ban would be smart. But just because those are like the two hyperscalers that MZ plays mid.
And we do see the Graves taken away. Yeah, I think that's the thing is like if you put MZ on something that isn't this catastrophic late game super carry, right? Then you give yourselves you don't have to worry about this clock so much. Play around those dragons. If you're winning them, you're winning them. You will take it, and it is the Corki that's hovered right now.
The stream gods have spoken, and the stream gods were listened to. Corki is off the table.
Yeah, Corki is gone right now. And Kindred again. That's what they banned last game. So the same exact 5 bans from Solar Flare. Shyvana is open for Titan Gaming. You have Nidalee still open. You have a lot of picks that they could opt to go for. And knowing what you know, I think you take the Shyvana. I think you save your mid pick.
I get to see the Shyvana. I asked for it. It takes 2 to tango. I'll be right back.
Go for it. Guys in chat, if you want to follow us on YouTube as well, our link is down there. All of our VODs from the last week and a half will be put on there very soon, I promise. There's been a little bit of a lull state of uploading those. We should have all the quarterfinals up there right now, though. Semifinals and finals we put up there very soon if they're not already on there. Trundle being picked up here for the side of Solar Flare. That's a big pickup for Masslink. It's one of his more favorited champions. Who will be in the mid lane? We're going to find out very soon. As this clock counts down. Ziggs. Okay. Someone you don't know, and here you go, someone. This is if you were waiting for something like this, it's right here in front of you. Someone you don't know is probably pumped. I think a Lux here would be huge. I don't know what Acid Step plays, but a ranged something that could. This is okay. This benefits the way Titan Gaming have been playing the game, right? They play this high roaming strategy where you get bot ahead. So if they are able to actually do that, in this series, Twisted Fate is a really great person to do it. It can match a lot of split pressure. It can clear waves pretty effectively. I think I would have preferred maybe something like a Lux, but this is going to be good. We have not seen the Ziggs, I don't think, popped out from MZ Shady, who I'm assuming it's on because usually Vezu takes this more.
All right, tangoing is done. The draft is complete. All right, Ziggs mid is annoying, but it's not 1v9.
Right.
So already, I think there's a better chance for Titan Gaming to win than last game.
Brando saying maybe this bump support can land a binding last game. Hey! You had a great game, Brando. Honestly, I was commending how good you were, especially in the first 15 minutes, making really good roams, solid plays, forcing summoners with your bindings. Maybe not connecting them all, but we're forcing summoners. And we're going in, and you just tangoed. So now I'm going to tango. Takes 2. Takes 2, kids. Ladies and gentlemen, be right back.
But imagine if you could tango with 3 people. Just think about that for a second. Let it soak in. Well, we acknowledge that my wish was granted, and we saw an almost a dozen Shyvana. Or we will see it, I guess. Not saw.
Hey, I heard it takes 3 to tango, and here I am.
Well, thank you for popping in, but that was a backhanded joke. It only takes 2 to tango. But that was a guest appearance from EV Dingus and JFF Ryan spamming this fire to make SF retire. Now, I don't think they're retiring, but if you mean loose, then maybe spam the fire if you want them to. So yeah, again, Vesu going Mordekaiser top, MZ Shady heading mid with the Ziggs. Ziggs is a really good pick, but it's not the... It doesn't have the same carry potential. Okay, he can carry, but it doesn't have the same carry potential that you would expect from a Kassadin or a Corki or a Cassiopeia or the likes.
All right. I did some thinking on my way to the fridge. I had a
Yes,
couple
sir.
thoughts.
All right, let me hear them.
Thought number one is I don't think that they inted draft this time for Titan Gaming. I think their draft actually works really well with what they want to do and how they want to play. Twisted Fate on the mid laner who's roaming is super strong, allows him to clear waves quick and go impact other lanes. Even just the threat of him moving off, you're going to see them back up bottom. But my thought was, this game, knowing what you know about the Hyperion Vezu matchup, do you give him any pressure or do you still stick to your guns and you just get TG Boom way ahead?
Well, the thing with Shyvana is he wants to get himself ahead, right? Like the fact of the matter is this game, almost a dozen, does not give a shit about any of his laners, right? I think
TF. I'm talking about TF.
Oh yeah, okay. Well, I think that's partly why they picked Twisted Fate, right? The Shyvana's like, what do you mean I'm not ganking? Like, you gank. So they picked Twisted Fate, and it's again like, just get them where they're already strong, right? Like, it's like there's no point salvaging the weakest player to try to get everybody equal. Like when you could just have one person that's super inflated, right? If they're already winning, make them win harder. Don't make it even,
Right.
because like
Right.
knowing what they did to Hyperion last game, if a similar thing happens, well, it's like now you're just staunching the bleeding instead of just like, it's like they cut you in the arm and then you're putting a band-aid on it. But what if it's like they cut you in the arm and then you cut them just as hard in the leg, right? Like blow for blow. Like that way you're not playing catch up, you're playing the trade game. Like it's equal.
Right. And I think the other thing I was thinking on the way to the fridge, on the way back from the fridge, was this time there's no real clock. They're not on a clock. Ziggs, Mordekaiser, Trundle, Ashe, Nami's a solid team composition, but there's no Wonder Star. You're playing a lot of AP stuff again. Volibear is probably going to be hyper tanky, really hard to get rid of come late game. He's going to stick to you guys like glue. I think this favors the way Titan Gaming want to play. I'm giving it to them. I think we go to game 5.
I think we go to game 5 as well. I think MZ Shady is skilled enough that when he gets the 2 1v9 carries that he's comfortable on, he's good enough to carry with them regardless of the start. But when it comes to just playing an actual, just full-on control mage mid laner, I don't know if that's new to me. I haven't seen this happen before. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe he proves me wrong. But as far as I'm concerned, this is going to game 5.
Yeah, we saw in game 1 and game 3 MZ be on stuff like Vladimir and Kassadin. But those are like, you get to dominate those team fights. Ziggs, you do get to sit further back and still impact the game really heavily. And we saw him play Corki. Like, we saw him play a champion that you don't really consider a 1v9 champion and basically 1v9, right?
Well, I would consider Corki a 1v9 champion.
Okay. Well, fair. Banned out from him. But like, I think he's trying to do a similar thing here and play with his team maybe more, because the way Titan Gaming are going to win is what you have been saying over and over again, Zelius, is they're going to out macro and they're going to take these dragons. They're going to get the pressure bot in mid. They're going to take the dragons and they're going to squeeze them out with soul.
Yeah, see, the way that Ziggs 1v9s is more just the long range poke, right? Like,
yeah.
They have to, like, Titan Gaming has to be ready to force drags and stuff on spawn before they take any damage from the Ziggs. Because Ziggs can just Q and Q and Q and deal like 300, 400, 500 damage.
Mm-hmm.
Like, off cooldown. And then, like, you can't pressure the dragon when 3 or 4 of your members are at 20% health. Like, it's just not happening.
The other thing that Solarflare really has going for them is they've had the same clan tag throughout the entire series here, and only 2 are running the Titan Gaming clan tag, and I think it's really messing up Titan Gaming.
But, Acid Step has the Slav clan tag, right?
Mm-hmm,
and nobody walks over the Soviet Union.
Is that what it is? Is that why he's running that?
I couldn't tell you, but that's my best guess.
You guys see the skin game? There's a lot of fun Shyvana skins.
Three Dudes Billy saying, "What did I say?" Solar Flare 3-0. But I think what you're failing to realize, Billy, is that Titan Gaming has already won a game.
Yeah, Titan Gaming's already
So,
taken a game. So it's gonna be a hard.
under any circumstance, you know what? I will give you $7 million if Solar Flare 3-0s this series. $7 million.
I just declared that game 2 is reverse. So you gotta split this money with me, buddy.
USD. Mentally, they are 3-0. Even mentally, they would be 2-0 at most, right? If they're just willing to write it off. That means they're playing a best of 7.
They've got some big fanboys here in the chat. Solar Flare were a dark horse in some people's brackets. Some people were just saying, you know what, it's not even a dark horse. These guys are just straight up the best. They're going to take it. A lot of people, the most picked finals was Solar Flare against Glue Eaters. However, we're in Solar Flare against Titan Gaming. And I did release what I said. I said Titan Gaming took it in 5.
In the finals?
I released this like a week ago. Yeah, I said Titan Gaming take it in 5 in the finals.
Wait, did you have Titan Gaming to win semis as well?
Yeah.
Like before it happened?
Yeah.
Kudos to you.
Against Titan Gaming, and let me tell you, I've never felt worse when Almost a Dozen is having more CS than everyone in the game the whole time.
Have you scrimmed against Solar Flare though?
We were going to. They got a higher.
I see.
They got a higher rated scrim, so they were like, "We're gonna take that." And I was like, "I get it."
Unfortunate, but understandable.
Yeah.
You know, while we're loading in, I'm actually going to complain about something that not within our league, but within leagues as a whole, and it's really pissing me off. So I've been playing around and toying around with my my planned roster for season 4, right? And it works out that we're D4, D3 average.
Okay.
And so I go into different scrim discords, including our own, but right now, because of playoffs, we're not really getting many from our own, season just ended, right? So it's mostly other discords. And I get messages saying like, "Oh, hey, we'll scrim you." And then I'm like, "Okay, can I get your op.gg?" And they're like, "Yeah, sure." So they send me an op.gg and they're all like Diamond 4. And I'm like, "Okay, that's fine." And then game time comes and I get invited to the game by a 300 LP Grandmaster. And then I'm looking at the game and their lowest ranking is a Diamond 1 60 LP. And I'm just like, this is not the OPGG that I was sent. And they're like, "Oh, these are our alt accounts." And I'm like, this isn't a D4 average scrim. Like, you guys are all high elo, right? So then it's pretty demoralizing when we get our rear ends kicked in. And it's just a quick rant while we wait for the action to happen.
Another 5 point here. Actually, Ash just wards that bush and then walks down.
Trundle was actually chilling in base for first 45 seconds.
He warded and backed for.
Oh, I'm actually blind. Sorry. My bad.
You good. We do know that TG in 3, maybe 4 or 5, or as most people know him, Almost a Dozen does have the Ignite and no Flash, but does have the Smite, the very important Smite of a jungler.
Now, Shyvana, I'm excited to just watch Almost a Dozen play Shyvana. It's just something I'm happy to witness. I wanted to see it right at the start of the series, and I finally get my wish.
We see both junglers again starting on the top side jungle, and I think they're both going to do full clears.
All right,
we'll see what Trundle ends up doing, though.
Twisted Fate has mental advantage right now because MZ Shady missed a melee minion.
Yeah, it's all over. That's game. That's from the game.
And Acid Step got the entire first wave. Like, that's mental advantage if I've ever seen it.
Let's see if Brando can land a binding this game. He talked about it in chat. I'll talk about it on stream. They're going to be level 2 and 1 minion down in the bot lane. You might see them go in.
So I see some activity in chat saying that playing a jungle that can't pressure solo lanes is a death wish against Solar Flare. But with what they picked, I mean, the Volibear is going to get tanky no matter what, right? But there's a situation where the Caitlyn isn't dealing 900 million damage. So by just, ignoring the Volibear, letting him get tanky, and then scaling yourself up through farm, and then punishing bot, I mean, I still think that's your best way to go.
I mean, we talked about it too, the Shyvana is not ganking early. She's actually. Oh, there's a gank going on in the mid lane. Acid Step might be in a little bit of trouble. Trundle's lurking. TF is the ganker. Oh, he's getting ganked right now. He has already burned the flash in the mid lane. He stayed alive. That probably wasn't on your screen, but it did happen. You can look to the right and see that the summoner is down.
Directed camera sometimes is just not what it should be.
It's alright.
But then the problem with that is when you go to manual camera,
Good
binding
binding.
hit, right? Already a binding hit, and that's a
That's so
really
much
good
damage.
trade on a Mobron.
So much damage. They're picking out camps that are probably up on the side of Trundle because he did that gank. So Shyvana's probably going to go pretty far ahead in farm right now and deny a lot of what Trundle can do. And they're going to jam in bottom so that they can help Shyvana rotate to those Crows. As she pings out where she's going right now. Acid Step is also leaving, so he's anticipating a fight right here really soon. TG, Boomer, and Brando are just focusing on this plate, and then are probably going to go help. Oh, she's actually behind. Oh, she does not get hit by that. She doesn't have her smite up. She doesn't have flash either. She didn't take it. She does get the black shield, but she's gonna go down. That's a good use of that. I think Acid Step is out of position too. Getting greedy for Shyvana farm causes 2 kills to go over to Solar Flare, and now they are in a pretty commanding lead early game, especially for Ziggs Trundle.
Yeah, and something that hasn't happened yet this game is Solar Flare getting the earliest drag. And
So looking like it could happen. Binding does hit.
exactly. I think Solar Flare can get the first dragon now, and that's the scary part to me, because so far we've just seen Solar Flare playing well with the considerations of the fact that they're behind, but they're just starting off right away from a lead now, so it's going to be interesting to watch the outcome. But I don't think it's the end of the world for Shyvana. And truthfully, neither is it for Twisted Fate.
Shyvana's got all of her farm up again. Like, she's just gonna go through her jungle. Bot lane is getting poked out by Akon right now. But that's such a safe lane. It's so hard to bother Caitlyn Morgana that much.
Yeah, you try to bother Caitlyn Morgana, and the Caitlyn Morgana bothers you.
Right.
Masklink actually going in on Acid Step here, but Acid Step just gold cards and walks away. Something Lady Luck is smiling, and then back in mid lane.
That was not a bad Twisted Fate impression at all. That was pretty good.
Thanks. Twisted Fate is actually Canadian. That's my fun fact. Yeah.
Oh, goddamn. Well, Shyvana's on the dragon. They know bot side back, and she just started it up.
Yeah, and I mean, Shyvana's like the king of the level 4 drag, the level 5 drag, right? So maybe I'm biting my own words here by saying Solar Flare gets the early drag, but it goes over to Titan Gaming, and like, honestly, I think that almost compensates for the double kill.
I think it's exactly what they need. Again, they need this jungler pressuring and showing, like, okay, there is a jungle difference, but how Trundle needs to play is for his team. If he plays for his solo laners, you could see Solar Flare take this pretty easily. Punish TF when he's gone. Ziggs can do that. Ziggs can push towers really hard and take it early, especially if Solar Flare are able to grab this Herald. You could knock down a tower so quickly.
Almost a dozen is level 6 now. You can look for a gank. That's actually a really nice W by MZ Shady.
Here it comes. Oh, that's so much damage on him. He's going to try to dodge the ult. He can't. So 1-for-1 trade. The kill goes over to Shyvana. She did burn that ignite as well there. No flash burn for MZ Shady.
Yeah, there's no AP on almost a dozen yet on the Shyvana. So, I mean, like, she can't really stay to scrap Trundle, I don't think. But, okay, maybe she can. Shyvana's just broken. I'm going to say it. Unhealthy champ.
Shyvana's pretty nuts.
Like,
Bubble does not connect there in the bot lane. I froze for a moment, but I'm back now, and
she has 0 AP, and still took about like
how much
maybe.
gold is she sitting on?
She's sitting on 1,800 gold.
Holy shit, that's a good back.
Yeah, that's she actually gets runic echoes and boots.
Yeah. She's going up a lot of farm right now too.
Yeah, even though Solar Flare is 2 kills up, like gold is almost dead even. The CS lead from ADC and jungle is just like, it's big pretty much. And like, those are the 2 carries that we highlighted for Titan Gaming as well.
Yeah. Those are the players you want to help play around. Those are the ones that can facilitate the wins. You need Hyperion on a big tank, and he has the Phage. I don't want him to complete that item, actually. I want him to get, like, Mercs and go, like, full tank here.
Yeah, I mean, depending on what Vesu builds, I think getting the Black Cleaver is fine. But yeah, I definitely agree with Merc Treads at the very minimum.
Fighting right now, Brando could be getting caught out here. Good trade from Nami, gets him nice and low.
Yeah, I mean, bot's still level 5 though, so the
but
imminent threat isn't there.
Go for it right here. The ultimate is down, and he burns.
Going for it, DD. Q's after the cleanse.
Akon the Kid is gone. TG Boom picks up the kill. That's huge for bot lane. They facilitate their own kills there. Top lane, there's a huge fight going on. He's out of mana though on Volibear. He has to flash away.
And Trundle picking up the Rift Herald. Acid Step actually looking to dive bot, does get knocked up by Nami, but I mean, there's 3 bottom. Mobron has nowhere to run. Yeah, and that's...
It's all over for him. TG Boom getting big.
This is what they want. This is... I love watching this. This is League of Legends at its finest.
Yeah, they do. So they do get the Herald and they pop it mid, and they're punishing TF. This is what I talked about. Boom, tower's gone. So yes, you go bottom, yes, you get what you get, but you know what? They knew that was coming. They played Ziggs for a reason, and they know how to play around that. They get that Herald. They force it in the mid lane. Tower is gone. You have first tower now. The gold lead now is in your core. And Ziggs is 2-1. He's going to pick up Lud. Oh, yeah, he's going to pick up Ludens right now. Sitting at 900 gold, thinking about what else to buy.
And like, Boom being ahead is just such a staple because it just lets almost a dozen go for the drags. And like, when Solar Flare plays these cheeky scaling comps, like the way around that is getting Soul, because that like counters any scaling pretty much, because Soul's just as much of a scaler as like actual item scaling.
Give it the flash forward here. So much
huge
damage
play
onto MZ Shady. He is gone. Deleted.
This like Shyvana. Drag spawning, they get drag.
Yep. Yeah, without Ziggs in the game, they're going to have a lot of zoning material. I mean, clearing out the wards. They should be able to just straight up get it. TF is in the mid lane just pushing. Now it is just support and jungler here. And they did not get rid of the blast gun, but now here comes TG Boom. Oh, the ultimate's going to hit though. They're not done with this dragon though. They can just stop doing it and they can focus on to Trundle. Doing a lot of damage here. So much onto Nami. Look at Brando zoning everybody. A good use of the stopwatch is going to keep him alive, but Ziggs is back up and he teleports in. They're just trying to finish it. TG Boom's going to actually turn attention to the dragon too. No, he's going to drop the ultimate here. He's not going to get the kill, but they do get the dragon. It's 5-5.
So, in the extended trade, that's still 2 for 2. In the extended trade, you consider that you caught out MZ Shady. And you get dragon. So, when you think about the fact that it was 3-1 at one point, with TG having 0 dragons, I'd say it's a net positive. And, like, Acid Step, his KDA doesn't reflect that, like, he's actually putting in work for his team. He's 1-3-2, and it doesn't look too hot, but he is playing well.
Oh, he is up top now, just clearing the wave so that Mord can't get more solo gold. But I'm also going to say, we are shown that MZ Shady, if he's not caught out, if he does play right, he can carry on anything. He can absolutely carry on the Ziggs, and he is just waiting to his really good teleport. He's up here in the top lane right now, trying to catch out Acid Step. The teleport is coming in from Hyperion, but I think that Acid Step's in a lot of trouble. That's the ultimate. He's going to go down. Oh, he does. Just dodges the Q. Oh my god.
MZ Shady burns down, and Acid Step jukes the hell out of Vesu, and Vesu's dead next. And that's what I want to see from Titan Gaming.
What a turn of events for them. Titan Gaming, you know what it is? They hate odd numbers. 1s, 3s, get them out of here. 2s and 4s, now those are the games they want to win.
Now you're starting to sound like the Spin Doctors. And, you know, I like to cheer for the underdogs, and I wouldn't want them to meet the same fate.
3-0 on this Caitlyn. Big Caitlyn right now. 2-1-2 on Shyvana. She's 30 CS up on her counterpart. But Caitlyn's got most gold in the game, I'm pretty sure, yeah. It's a big ult.
Yeah, 6k gold on the Caitlyn. Second highest is actually the Ziggs at 56. So sizable lead for Caitlyn.
Yeah, she finishes that IE on her back. She's going to start to really chunk. However, Blade of the Ruined King for that of Ashe. But Ashe, Nami, and Ziggs are like Shyvana's. That's like a wet dream comp for Shyvana. I mean, those are squishy targets. Look, how much health does Nami have? Less than 1,000 right now? Like, that's 2 E's. Really, it's an E in like any other ability from anyone else. It is the mountain, by the way. So, dragons are the name of the game. Shyvana is a dragon. Shyvana wants more. We saw it. Oh, here comes TF in the top lane. He's going to go in. He's going to stun up MZ Shady. It's a nice pillar here from Masslink and an ultimate from... Oh, this is so much damage. Look at the way they're able to trade right back. Acid Step maybe went a little too deep. Masslink
He actually just runs away, though.
Volibear's forced to ult. He's waiting for the card. He saves himself a little bit longer.
They all live. That's so good for them. That's, like, sure, they give away Rift, but I think that's okay. I think that's fine. First turret's already gone.
They traded bot there, right? Oh, they're looking for it. Oh my god. This is rough. If you don't have Caitlyn Morgana here, this is rough to deal with.
Yeah, it's hard to defend the Ziggs siege, but like the fact that nobody died there is not that bad.
It means a lot, but I think they get this here because Ziggs can just pop this. Yep, now he can. Gone. They're pushing for middle tower. They're gonna get it.
Yeah,
So they're
that's
able to
good.
trade
That's
towers
good.
back.
And dragon spawning in a minute, right? Like dragons are what TG wants to play for.
Yep. Keep Acid Step in the side lane. Keep Volibear in the side lane. You know, pick which one's gonna be there. Keep him in the side lane. Let him deal with this Mordekaiser that's probably gonna be up there too, and just play around these dragons. They're setting up really good wards right now. Shyvana's sitting on almost 2k though. Might be a little bit of an oversight if she doesn't back at all. They're looking for MZ Shady. They're going all the way in. And I think she might go down. She does.
TG Boom picks it.
To get away, but they do kill Shyvana, and I think they're going to get TG Boom. A great ultimate from Ashe. She's going to secure it. Now Volibear is out of position because he was trying to rotate to help, finding hits to secure the runaway, get away safely. At what cost was that to kill?
Yeah,
MZ Shady.
unfortunately not worth, right? Because like you need the dragons to win on the side of Titan Gaming, and like
Yeah.
jungler dead, you cannot contest.
And giving up these dragons is bad. This being Soul is bad. I think it's worse than Ocean, and the reason I think that is because this negates Burst. And the real thing that they're trying to do on the side of Titan Gaming is burst down the squishies. Shyvana is a big burst champion. You know, you catch someone in the binding, you burst them. If they kept 4 mountains in the shield, you just won't be able to do it. Oh, a nice cleanse right there from Akon. The kid, she's flashing away. Trying to do what she can. TG Boom has that black shield. Another stun, though, means they are going to be able to pick it up. TG Boom gets the kill right there.
And this
7
could
to
be
9 goes the score.
easy rotation to Rift, and like although there was that one blunder, it doesn't feel as bad as in the last game that we saw, where like where like it felt like once TG lost that drag fight, the game was lost like fully. So I think it still feels pretty okay for them. Shyvana has her ult back up.
Yep.
And Acid Step's playing the side lane pretty well. I think Acid Step's playing this game very well, and the 1-3 doesn't reflect at all how he's playing.
TG Boom's got to be careful about his positioning and the timing of the Black Shield. If TG Boom is in a safe spot, if TG Boom can do what Ziggs is doing to his team, they can carry this game right here. Although he's getting poked out even more and more from this Ziggs right now. Waiting for Shyvana to do something if they can. Maybe just try to focus this Mobron burst and leave here, but I think there's just a bunch of pings to reset. 1,500 on the side of TF. Caitlyn back with 1,300, just spent a lot of it. Ziggs is also sitting on 1,500 himself. So almost can get that heel cutter. We're going for the next Herald here. A teleport is coming in. This is Twisted Fate's teleport. He might be in a little bit too deep. He is going to get some speed, and an Ashe Arrow is going to connect. He's going to flash over the wall right now as other teleports are coming in. Acid Step just trying to provide some pressure right now. The rest of his team just isn't there. That's a summoner. That's 2 shooters down for Acid Step. Here's the ult now, though.
It actually just looks like he's looking to push bot. I mean, doesn't...
Yeah, he just left. They're going to try to trade right here. The tidal wave to zone everybody away. That was almost stolen from that Shyvana E. He's just, yeah, they're just going to try to split him out. Alright, this is a tense one. This one, I think, is the closest, and will be the closest till the end.
Yeah, I think it's like a...
Oh, they're starting a bear right away.
Wait, holy sh... That's... Well, it's slower than I thought, actually.
It's slower because Caitlyn's not there yet. Now Caitlyn's here.
This is like... This is 900 IQ, though. Like, Acid Step's just chilling bot. MZ Shady's like, nice trading with you, man. And then right there, it's just the...
Got it out just as it ends. Baron picked up for Titan Gaming. This is a fight.
I love it. You know, it's moments like this where I just wish I could sit back and watch. But for you guys, I need to provide insight. But like, this is a series regardless. Even if Solar Flare comes back and wins this, like, this was a good series.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Went longer than 3 games, and you know what? This one is going to be a fight. No matter who wins it, they're going to have to earn it here. Clearing out a lot of wards. Setting up around this dragon yet again. He's going to go hit it here. He's saying he can take this all the way down, although he's not on it anymore. He's in the death realm. He's waiting for his second E. If he gets it, he'll kill. He does. So he's not near the dragon, but he picks up the Mordekaiser.
Yeah, and I mean...
And they have Baron.
Yeah, he could just reset. Oh, actually, Masklink up there meaning business. He wants to fight.
If he can be tricky enough.
I think he just gives. Yeah, he just dies over.
They're going to look for bot tower, though.
Although, 40-second death timer, Dragon coming up in 12. I think with Baron, you can pressure and play slow enough that Dozen is just alive again in time.
Well, Trundo's still top, right? So the smite threat is still away from the Dragon. It's rotating now. You got 18 seconds left on Shyvana. The binding is going to hit. They're going to try to do as much damage as they can, but a huge bubble. Here comes Volibear. They pick up MZ Shady. He goes down. And now...
Yeah, now they get it without the jungle. But I mean, Trundle's on the way over, so they do have to be cautious of steal.
It's just so risky to do. Oh my god, he flashes over the wall. He's looking for it. He might be able to finish it up.
He does steal it, but he pays the price with his life. I think they can just look to group mid, though, right? They have 2 down for another 20 seconds. They surely at least pop open an inhib.
That was so risky from Titan Gaming, knowing he was coming. Yes, you burned his flash. Yes, you were able to trade for him, but You didn't need to do that. You could have just sat
Yeah,
there,
no,
right?
I think they should have just waited. But with what they did, they need to break open an inhib, or it's not worth it at all.
They need to break open more map pressure for sure. They need to get some more towers down because now 2 Mountain Drakes are on the side of Solar Flare, and guess what? Mordekaiser Trundle is going to get pretty goddamn tanky if you let him. That ult did connect onto Morgana.
Now, you know what I will say, unrelated to League? It's way harder to tango with 2 when you have the smaller cans.
True.
Because you need to go to the fridge a lot more.
It's a little unfair. During the economy finals, I actually just brought a cooler next to me.
No, that's something I should have considered.
Yeah, well,
See,
I was expecting a longer series there too. I should have brought the cooler here as well because
yeah, this is an actual series, and one thing I'd like to
Yeah.
point out is, for the first time all series, Hyperion didn't get the shit end of the stick. He's 3-0,
True.
like,
He's
like
3-0.
he's happy. He's like, look, team, like I'm not a liability. Like, he's happy. But, you know, overall, still decent for both teams. Like, I don't know if I could complain right now if I was either team. Both teams, I'd say, like, hey, we're not too far behind. We're, like, I don't know. Even though Titan Gaming 6k gold ahead, like, on either team, I would still think I was winning. Which
Yeah,
maybe
I
is a
think
bad
that-
thing for my character, but
So both teams, neither team is so far behind that they should feel like they're losing. Because especially with momentum, we talk about that a lot in long series, but the momentum of this current game, the last 2 dragons have gone to the side that is down in gold, and they're tank dragons, so you're not going to get bursted as quick. So, I think that neither side should feel like they're losing. Maybe they don't both feel like they're winning, but feeling like they're losing is probably wrong, as they're going to go all in here for Vezu. Either one is going to be able to finish him up, because this is so much damage coming out from the side of... Oh my god, Shyvana just eats him up.
Shyvana.
Huge advantage, Titan.
Yeah, okay, yeah. Forget everything I said. Like, they have pressure on the bot inhib with Baron spawning in a minute. Or at
Yeah.
least the inhib tower. And, like, I can't credit Titan Gaming enough, because, like, this is the 5th seed. Like, or 4th seed, sorry. 4th seed.
Yeah, they are really punching above their weight here. As everybody that is alive for this side of Solar Flare has rotated down here, but Solar Flare again is the 3rd seed.
One thing I will say about Solar Flare, though, is a lot of their losses, I felt like they got, like... I mean, even in our series against them, like, I'd even be willing to say they got cheesed. Right? Like, a lot of the times, there's just, like, that one nice pick that gets them, but I think they're probably the best overall team. Like, I think they're the best of team. So the fact that Titan Gaming is winning against them, and they're looks like they're going to Game 5 and could even win Game 5 is, like, insane.
Yeah, I think we are looking at a Game 5 here in the LBLCS CEO Summer Finals. But we'll find out. Solar Flare could absolutely still win this. There's a lot of ways back in. The Dragon is one of them that we've talked about a lot. They've got the last 2 under their belt, and they're rotating around this Baron right now.
Yeah, and Mask Link's really fed, so, like, it's not like they don't have a strong front line to just eat up a Shyvana E. But does it go through champions, or does it splatter at the first E? Like,
Splatters at contact.
okay, so yeah, if Trundle's able to, like,
If
soak
it's
that up, I mean,
Shyvana
he's
E,
pretty
if
beefy.
If it's all Eve, it's all Eve.
Yeah.
The other
It
is,
actually just looks like TG's rushing it. They do not care. They're like, we
They
just
thought
saw
that
3
Shyvana-
mid. It's done. Yeah, the game's done. Or not game, but, like,
now
the
they
Baron.
have to get it. They have to get it. They're going to turn off of it as the Nami wave comes in. It does start to reset. They're looking for the fight now. He's over the wall. This is where Shyvana wants to be. He's looking for the E. It hits so much damage onto the back line there. Akon the Kid dropping really low. Mobron is also low. They're setting up more fight lines here as MZ Shady gets chunked a little bit. They're going to flash.
Holy shit!
Twice in a row, and they're gonna finish him up. TG Boom going in big with everybody else as Hyperion's gonna drop the ultimate onto Mask Link. Now they're gonna chase him down the mid line. Another stun onto Vezu means that they're gonna continue to push forward. The binding does connect, but guess who's low? It's the Big Bear. It's just a 1-for-0, and they're
But-
gonna turn to Dragon instead.
The big bear has TP.
True.
Mask Link does have Flash and Smite again, though, so it's also stealable. But we'll have to see. They're not even
Harder to
pulling
do
it
when the
out.
Smite's in there. way higher level too from the side of Shyvana, way higher, right?
Yeah, that's true. It just gets given over.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that almost a dozen was 4 levels above Mask Link.
Yeah.
Okay, I mentioned...
Look at this. Look at it, and then look top lane, right? Like, there's a give and take here. There is an ebb and flow in this series.
Well, even with looking top lane, though, I mean, the gold's still pretty even, because Volley's fed.
True.
Like, Volley's only 600 gold behind, but, like, Volley has the bounty, Vesu doesn't.
Oh, it's a huge chunk onto the back line. Dude, this Shyvana is gnarly, and here comes Twisted Fate. He knows they're separated running from the hills. MC Shady's also low. They're going to hit another one onto him. He's going to teleport in. The ultimate from Caitlyn is here. It's going to pop onto... Oh my god, Mobron gets so low from all of this. It doesn't quite choke him all the way down. The ultimate is dropped on to Shyvana. That's a huge ult from Ashe. It's going to stun up Acid Step, but here's the rest of the fight. 1-for-1 so far. They're able to pick up Morgana. Shyvana, Mordekaiser go down. Oh my god, Volibear goes down. This could be a turn right here. Oh no! Oh my god! I think Solar Flare are going to win this fight and take Baron. Oh, there's only 2
Well,
left.
I don't know if they can take Baron. Acid
Yeah,
Step
there's
and
only 2
Hyperion FTP, but yeah, like, those are the plays that Solar Flare is looking for, where it's just messy. And that's where they come out on top, because like we've already all agreed on, like, Solar Flare micro, really good. TG Boom, or not Boom, sorry, but TG just have to win through good macro.
And they've been macroing really well in this game. Fortunately, for the side of Solar Flare, there's no real objective to take. They just won the fight. They won the fight, so they didn't lose Baron and then lose the game, right? That's the big.
Yeah, I agree.
But Shyvana showed that Alt E puts it's 2. 2 Alt E's kill 3 members of Solar Flare. And Solar Flare has to know this, and their positioning has to continue to be really good, and they can't group on those 3 squishies together. Because if they do, it's going to be really easy to blow them up. Especially if Volibear had flash up for that and could have just jumped back into there and fought them.
Still, though, 5k gold lead for TG. TG is 1 point away from Soul, with the dragon spawning in just over 2 minutes.
This Caitlyn's really big.
Yeah, Caitlyn is
really big.
Caitlyn is a sizable champion,
Yeah,
but
if she gets
still
caught
takes
out-
half of her health from Ziggskew. So
Yeah. They're trying to make a play right now, or at least force something. TF's gonna go bottom. He's gonna split push right now. He's gonna force. Hey, do something, because we're either gonna get bot in him or we're gonna get this Baron or try to
yeah,
fight for Baron.
so
right?
yeah, I think that's a weird usage of ult, but I like it. It's odd, but it's like it's effective. Because now that their Acid Step's bot, he still has TP. He has exhaust if
fight
there's a
him right here,
contest.
They know Shyvana was clearing wards in Dragon Pit.
Yeah, Vesu has no TP though, and he's bot, so Acid Step can take this slow and continue the push. It depends whether the
Acid
team
Step-
wants to force Baron or push.
He's
But yeah,
used
now that-
exhaust as well.
Yeah, but now that Vesu is showing on the map, he can just keep pushing bot. This is actually so good from TG.
This is
So
the macro we
smart.
talked about. That's MZ Shady's ult. Although late game now, level 16 shouldn't be in too long of a time.
Yeah, no, it's already halfway back up.
Yeah. Here's a TF ult again. They know they can't respond. He's gonna go mid lane. They're gonna get Prio, and I think they're gonna go right. Oh no, they're gonna back. One is.
I think
The
they just
dragon-
want to
they're
set up for
picking
Soul,
dragon.
right? Because the thing is, even if it's a trade Baron for Soul, Baron goes away in 3 minutes. Soul is for the
Soul
rest of the
doesn't.
game.
Yeah.
Honestly, like, nothing happens from it, but Acid Step walking up to the Baron there just seems kind of spooky to me, just because, like, I don't know, you never know when you can get pinched.
Yeah, I think they had good vision on a lot of them. They have some pretty good vision for that one into the Baron area. They're gonna go clear right now. Solar Flare's gonna see these wards. Hopefully, yeah, they're gonna see them. And they're gonna rotate over it. They're gonna trade. They're trading.
I mean, if Acid Step can swap to Smite or something, you could even look for a steal. Hyperion going on Vesu, and it actually looks like they're walking up. They're gonna try to contest while Shyvana just solos the drag.
Solos, yeah.
Yeah, they get them off
of
the
trouble for Acid Step. He's trading his life. But the one thing you might be able to do, did it reset? Did Baron reset?
Baron partially reset, but not enough. Morgana Q. Morgana Q will steal. I believe in Brando.
Brando hit one by... Oh,
no, Masculine got it. It was close, but Masculine got it. Soul for Baron. Reasonable trade.
And right, it benefits... I think technically it benefits Solar Flare more in the short term. But overall benefits Titan more. But if they win a fight right now, they have Baron. They could go and just push and win the game. Even if 2 are only up and it's like Ziggs and Mort or something, they could just end the game. It's all about this next fight. TF's going to be back up. He has Cleanse and Exhaust now as his 2 summoner spells. Shyvana is lurking. Shyvana is huge. Her E's are crazy. Oh my god. Akon's in a nervous little spot here. He does have some good heals from Mobron, but what can they do? They're looking for... Oh, they did proc the shields. That's a really, really big good job from Acid Step to be around that wall there and do that. He's going to get caught out a little bit. A lot of damage coming. He's got to burn the cleanse. He uses the cleanse right now. He's backing up further. There's the ultimate. Doesn't connect.
The sieging power?
All you want to do is live the siege.
Yeah, and the sieging power of Ziggs with Baron is painful. But, I mean, if they can do it, right, like, they have 4 dragons, they don't have to worry about Soul Point anymore. They have really good Elder if they can capitalize on it.
And the ultimate from Twisted Fate is going to be here right now. It's used. They have full vision of everybody. He's going to go bottom instead. He's going to deal with the side lane.
I mean, 1 minute left on Baron, and they've only lost, what, the 1 tier 2 mid? Like, not that bad.
Acid Step does get pulled in. That's a good use of his stun. Brando has rotated over. They could lose Inhib right now if Solar Flare are going to go for it. They are.
Yeah, I don't know why there's so many resources bottom. Interesting.
Oh, they're chasing the Shyvana now instead of just pushing middle, though. Nice use of the stopwatch to keep himself alive. Or the Zhonya's.
Yeah, so it looks like tier 2 will fall as well, but 25 seconds left on this push.
Oh, the binding did not quite connect. Brando's in a little bit of a tricky spot. He uses the black shield for himself just so he doesn't lose that move speed here. TG Boom gets popped a little bit.
Damn, Ziggs just does so much. It looks like, yeah, I think Inhib is down here, bottom Inhib.
They're trying to just not die, right? If you die, the game's over. If you don't, you live to fight another day. They're trying to poke with the damage that they can. TF's on the backside. They're going to do everything they can to this thing, try to get him out of the equation. Exhaust has already dropped on him. A nice opening is going to miss, though. It's going to connect. TG Boom picks up the kill because everybody else is in the death realm. That's a 1 for 0 so far. They're going to try to play together right here, and a nice redemption is going to keep them alive a little bit longer. As you can see, Shyvana zoning people on the other side, killing away those wolves. Mid lane is now the lane that people want to fight in. Good job from Titan to not lose an inhibitor there.
Now, my only wish is, imagine if this was a game 5. Like, either team could win at this point. It's truly on a knife's edge. One team has to win. But Baron's gone, and like I think it might be another trade too, right? Like Baron is up around the same time as Elder, not in a rushable area. But for the first minute of Baron being alive, there will be Scuttle Vision around it, which isn't that bad.
So I think a big thing right here is make sure you have Wave Prior if you're on the side of Titan Gaming. And if you're on the side of Solar Flare, I don't think you should be afraid to start these fights. I think you actually are crazy strong. If you can be the one to pull the trigger instead of getting engaged on, you have a real advantage because Caitlyn's super squishy. Acid Step, we've seen him pop before. that Zhonya's is back up. He does have the flash and the teleport now, but he does go down really quick.
Yeah, I think a bit of the problem though is like who engages on Solar Flare, right? Like you have Assault.
It's gotta be a solid Assault followed by the Nami CC with Ziggs damage. Like it's gotta be a team effort. Pillar can help zone here. Vezu's really on this side lane duty. They're setting up for it. Solar Flare has the inside track here. And the ultimate does not connect. That's a big tool down, but Brando is gonna drop that shield on himself. Looks like the whole fight is, oh my god, Akon the Kid is dropping so low. He's already at half health. Twisted Fate is now here. They're gonna try to poke out Mobron. A nice bubble is gonna stop Brando in his tracks.
Yeah, Hyperion actually tried to TP in, but Vesu stopped it, I believe, with his E.
TG Boom's in a bad spot. Okay, phew, he's okay now. But he does get poked out a little bit by the Ziggs. Akon the Kid is pretty low. Oh, that's so much damage. Those autos from TG Boom are gross. They're gross. They make me want to puke my pants, dude.
Yeah, a lot of people say Caitlyn doesn't scale, and like I get why you say that, but then at other times, like if you watch her auto attack at 40 minutes, like it's not like she doesn't hurt.
Look at the way she chunks. Elder's up. Acid Step might be out of position here. Nope. Knowledge is power. And this Shyvana is pretty powerful. She's gonna go in. There's some ultimates down. Brando, it's a huge flash in.
Akon's dead.
From the side of Titan Gaming, they're able to trade 1-for-1, but that means 2 are gone. It's a 2-for-1. They're able to take out Shyvana though. There's no more jungler. It's a huge flash inward. Oh my god, what is happening on the backside? Is the front side is already MZ Shady running for his life. Acid Step is out of mana. He can't do anything here. I think it's a teleport. Or no, it was a back. It was a back.
It's
Sorry.
2 for 2. Boom's really far back though. He did not get much DPS off in that fight, and
If
it looks like
Ziggs
Ziggs is just
goes up
running
to
for the
that-
base.
TF can match it, I think, but I think they will lose that in him. Can these two duo this, and do they even try to? Trundle's up. They learned their lesson once. Does he get the kill?
Oh no, he has Ghost. He has Ghost. He's fine. Okay, they should be able to threaten the Elder now though, right? Like
I think it's theirs. I mean, Trundle has to back. Shyvana. Oh, Shyvana's up for 17 again. We've seen this story, boys.
all right, let's see if we will see this story though.
The Flash Smite is available.
That's true. This is risky, yeah.
I swear to God, if they do the same thing and lose the game because... Oh, the worst thing is if they lost the game, they're already hearing me say this. I swear to God, if you guys threw this dragon, I'm gonna lose my mind. It's at 2,000 right now. Kill this Trundle first. They're turning their attention to it. It's dropping low. It's smiteable, and they get it. They threw it. Elder Dragon for them, but Vezu goes down first. They're still winning the fight.
Yeah, I mean, doing the objectives without a smite is not ideal. Because now, I mean, okay, Ziggs doesn't have Elder. That is a salvageable. Although Brando's caught out, Masklink just executing. Yeah, no, he's gone. All right, yeah, Solar Flare
TG Boom's in a really bad spot.
stole the drag. I mean, I just don't know how they can defend this anymore. Although,
Oh, they might be able to kill Akon the Kid on the backside right now, but it is going to be... Oh, an ultimate from Caitlyn! Oh,
wait,
they
so
were gonna
good,
kill
so
it.
good.
What a play! But I think they might be sacrificing Acid Step's life. Hyperion is here to help tank. They actually have numbers here. They traded 2-for-1 so far. Like, they might be able to do this and turn this.
yeah, this isn't bad for them. I mean, I thought it was over for sure, but they already brought the game back into a playable state.
The fact is that Ziggs doesn't have it is massive, right? You touched upon it, but the fact that Ziggs doesn't actually burn for all that extra poke shit.
Yeah, no, it's so good for...
TF is splitting right now. We see Vezu backing. Gonna go deal with him. Trundle also was backing. Mobron setting up some vision here around the Baron, the next neutral objective. Ladies and gentlemen, will we see a game 5? I don't know. Rando doing his signature move, getting caught out again. And a nice ultimate here. I think this will be the game for Solar Flare if they're able to really full engage on it. TG Boom is trying to stay in good range here. A nice stun from Master Step's going to keep them safer for longer. Mastling dropping a little bit lower, but Vesu's not even in this fight. They're going to look and turn their attention towards the Baron.
Alright. Dodson steals it. If they contest, Dodson steals it. But it looks like they're actually just going to give it away. But actually, Acid Step just looking to shove mid.
Yeah, they want an inhib in response for this.
But I think that, yeah, they just do it too fast. Maybe the inhib tower goes down, but they don't get the inhib. Yeah, okay.
This one's a close one.
Yeah, it is a dance. It is a long game. Although I think with Baron and Ziggs, I think Solar Flare might just take it.
I think they should be able to just basically push them down and out, but Vesu is not here, and they're looking to do something cheeky from the side. They are going to see Brando again. He's going to pop the Black Shield onto himself, but there's the ultimate. Oh, that's so much damage. Here comes the kid. Here comes Hyper. Oh my god, he's got so much damage onto him. They finish him off. That's a 1-for-0 right now, and Acid Steps on the backside. Hyperion's in a little bit too deep, though. He's soloing right now in that fight. Rando is low. TG Boom is here for as soon as he comes out. It's good use of a lot of spells, but they're able. Oh, it's a 3-for-1 now. I don't know if TG Boom can hold this all by himself. He's trying to kill Vesu. He's trying to kite what he can, but he can't do it all alone. A nice way to get over the wall. He dodges the Q. Shyvana's in a heap of trouble. Shyvana gets bubbled up. Shyvana looks like she's gonna have to pop her own Zonias. TG Boom trying to salvage what they can, but ladies and gentlemen, I think we have our CEO finalists, our champions of the season, Solar Flare.
Overall, great series. 4 games, 3-1. Solar Flare takes it.
Well deserved, and yes, Daisy, I know, you called it in advance. You changed your name to it. You were so confident. Heck of a series. Both teams looked incredible in Game 4. Both teams had their own shining moments in just every game. Like, even Game 3 was really close until basically Kassadin got way too big.
Yeah.
So props to both teams. Heck of a series. Really fun to watch and cast. And I hope both of these teams come back for Season 4 because now they are champions. Now they are big people. Everybody's got to respect these two teams.
Now let's look at the damage charts here, just for perspective. It was really Ziggs versus Shyvana. Like I said, the 2 stars of each team topping damage charts.
Yeah. Able to do just so much. And again, we see these, like, I think that game was winnable earlier by both by both teams. Both teams could have done so much more to win that game. I think one thing we overlook as casters is we're not sitting down and we haven't played for the past 3.5 hours, right? We haven't been sitting there playing the game, been stressed out by it, especially for the side of Titan around that Elder throw. You've been playing the game for 3.5 hours. You're tense. You know that if you lose the game, it's all over. And so you just get anxious about it, and you try to push for things that maybe you don't need. Zelius, we do have time for an interview if you're willing.
Yes.
If Mobron or anyone from his team is able. So,
yeah, I'm
guys,
more than happy to bring somebody in.
Yeah, if you want to jump on into community, we see Mobron is already there. I'm going to pull him on up. Here he is. Mobron,
Hey, what's up, guys?
champion of the CEO League. How you feeling right now?
Dude. Started from the bottom. Economy last season.
I know.
Just had to bring in an
Yeah.
MZ Shady.
Well, you guys played a heck of a series. Looked crazy strong in some of the games. Game 1 was really a stomp, but it kicked Titan in gear. They beat your butt in Game 2, and you guys were able to just clean sweep them the rest of the way. Did you guys? We realized Ashe was like the pick for this series coming into these drafts. Was that why you switched to blue side Game 3?
Yeah. So that was. I got to toot my own horn a little bit. That was an I told you so on my part. I called that from the beginning that Ashe would be a contested pick, but Yeah, so we switched so we could first pick the Ash because the logic was if we took away, I know that Boom has been practicing a lot of Ash, and we felt that if we could put him off as two like comfort champs,
Yeah.
but prop to him, dude, he played like a great Caitlyn both games, like he was destroying us in lane with that Caitlyn Morg. They both played really well, but I
Yeah.
think in the end, like what that does to their team is it kind of like our logic going into it was that we thought if we got to late basically with um
Oh, all the
at
late
least a
game comps you
decently
picked.
even state, like not doomed, then we
Yeah.
had a pretty good chance of closing it out because
Right.
doesn't likes to play a lot of those carry champs that don't scale super well or don't like aren't conducive to team fights. Um, but yeah, I think, and then the Caitlyn Morg. What I was gonna say is that kind of hurts your team fight. I think later, like it's a really great lane, but I think once we were able to start getting, picks with the Ash arrows and
Once you
start being
started
able to
grouping,
run those team
once
fights.
you grouped, you had people to block for you, even though they had the range. If you could get the engage, you guys were in there, and you could really clean them up. You looked really great on Nami every time you played it. Do you? You guys never changed bans except for the Malzahar after game 2. Was that
Yeah,
because you just thought the suppression, like you can't cleanse out of it, it's not worth even playing against it?
I think the logic there was that their mid, and a lot of the mids, I think it's like part of the meta too. But we notice a lot of the mids like to kind of sack their lane and try to look for, team plays.
Hmm.
And so the Malzahar was really really helpful for them in that second game. We didn't have like a lot of counterplay for it,
Mm.
and so taking him off that I think was really important for our draft. Our logic going into that game too is we were either gonna um, ban the Mal. I think we ended up doing both actually. We were going to take the Ash and then ban the Malzahar. Those are like the two options. But we also were
Yeah.
really scared of giving them a comp in which they have almost a dozen kind of as their like marksman carry with the Kindred or the Graves, and then just putting their solo laners on stuff that supports that. So like the Malzahar, we saw it in the game, they were able to get us that. I think it was the Maokai Malzahar lanes,
Yeah.
and they're basically able to just like create a really powerful team comp for almost a dozen to shine. But we felt like as long as we could kind of like hinder their ability to build a team comp around him where he can like scale into the late game and take over, that we had it in the late game. So
Well, you guys nailed it in 4 games. Not a clean sweep. The only finals that wasn't a clean sweep, but a heck of a series, especially that final game going so late with the Elder Steel and everything. Do you have anything to say to all of the? There's a lot of Solar Flare fans in chat tonight. A lot of people hyping you guys up big time.
oh, I appreciate it, and I really got to give a shout out to my jungler Mask Link. Like I don't know, I heard a little bit of flame going on in this chat. I don't know what y'all are talking about. I mean, I don't know if those maybe that performance will speak for itself, but man's not a one trick. Got those 2 steals in there. I just want to like, throw some props to him. Throw some props to my boy Akon. We gotta like we are definitely the MZ Shady show, but there's a solid supporting cast behind him.
to just to defend myself a bit, I wouldn't say that I attacked Mask Link. I just said we never saw him play Kha'Zix before.
Yeah, we did.
I think we both teams kind of recognize that in a best of 5 you do have that ability to kind of like experiment a little bit. It felt like maybe they did that with the Karthus game 1 and us with the Kha'Zix game 2. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that's like I did notice that they had played it a little bit in Flex, and I had told but my team, we were able to play around it pretty well in that first game. But yeah, so we kind of both, we both had our little games of
Little blips.
experimenting, but we both kind of fell back into I think we're both pretty formulaic teams in how we draft, so it was kind of like just pieces falling in place.
Yeah. Well, congrats to you guys, and honestly, congrats to Titan Gaming for making it to finals. If you guys are
they
listening
played
right
amazing. I also want
So
to
good.
just really quick give a shout out to them. Boom's my boy. I was really impressed with their new support, able to take out Glue Eaters. It's a really strong team that we're afraid of. They played really well. Obviously, almost a dozen is a beast. But shout out to them. They played really well and gave us a really hard run.
Thanks, Mo Brian.
All right. Later, guys.
Later. Well, guys, that's it. You've witnessed all of the finals, all of the winners. I'm gonna give a little bit of a sneak preview into the future. Tonight we're having our last teams for Valorant sign up. They're gonna sign up. There's gonna be a short, probably a 6-7 week Valorant league, and around when that ends, if not right before it ends, season 4 is gonna start up again. The ability to sign up for season 4 is gonna start next week. Just for my own hectic schedule and lifestyle of managing all of these leagues. But before we finish with that, TG Boom is in community, and I am going to do him the honor of pulling him on up so that TG Boom can have a little bit of an interview because he played his goddamn heart out in this series.
Hello.
How are you, dude?
We're all right. You know, a little bit of a heartbreaker. It's not the end goal that we wanted, but we're somewhat happy with our performance. We're happy to make it to the finals. We had a much better season than anticipated.
Yeah, you guys, I think shell shocked a little bit of everyone watching at home during the playoffs. You know, you came back 2 reverse sweeps in the best of 3 series. Beat the number 1 expected team to win. And made it all the way to finals, and gave Solar Flare a goddamn run for their money. Game 2, really stomping them, and Game 4 was tense as hell. So I think you guys should be proud of yourself. Do you have anything to say to your Titan Gaming fans out there?
Yeah, we definitely saw the Twitch chat get active as we went into playoffs. It's been cool to watch the VOD, see what people said, and to participate there. Sad to let them down, but it's really nice to have a fan base and to move forward and to keep improving.
Yeah, we talked about it with Mobron. I'm sure you're listening if you're watching the stream as well right now. But we talked about that Ashe pick and how you had been practicing it. It was like the number 1 contested pick. It was like first picked on blue side every game. Caitlyn Morgana was really oppressive into it, but you guys just couldn't formulate it into a win either time.
Yeah, we definitely knew that if they have Ashe, we don't want them to have early game control, and we felt that we could outplay them and perma push them in and get that prow. Definitely worked well. We went 3-0 on the Kate early in both of the games. We took a lot of early towers. We got stalled out in the mid game with the threat of MZ Shady. I think that we could have maybe accelerated it a bit more to just continue sieging with Kate rather than get locked into this 1-3-1 where we weren't able to accomplish much. We should have took those outer towers a little bit earlier. And we let the nerves get to us. There are a few macro plays where we might have went in a little bit too early or uncoordinated or went for objectives without smite. Cleaning up a few of those mistakes, I think that we could have took game 3 and 4. And next season, this might look a little bit differently.
Well, my ears are ringing with happiness as you say next season. We cannot wait to have you guys back and participating in it. You're definitely a big name now. You should know that people know how to scout you guys and will think about how to play against you, especially because these are all going to be up on YouTube and rewatchable. So learning from your mistakes or learning how to play against you guys is what people are going to be doing. Thanks so much for coming in, TG.
Thank you guys for the great casting throughout the series and the league. It's been a lot of fun to be here. We'll see you next time in August.
Thanks, dude. Very much appreciated. All right, guys. That's it for me and Zelius. Zelius, I'm going to let you close this out. I'm going to be quiet.
All right, everybody. I think we peaked at like 60 something or like 70 something viewers. So thanks to every one of you, right? Now, it wasn't quite a 5-game series. 4 games long, well fought by both teams. Most of the games didn't know who was going to win until the very last second. And we went out with a banger, a 45 minute, 25-second long game 4. Congratulations to Solar Flare, our league champions, and also congratulations to Titan Gaming. Underdogs took a game off of what had been undefeated until Titan Gaming took the game off them. And just overall, a great series, a great league, a great season. Thank you everybody for joining us. Be in the Discord. Stay tuned for Season 4. If you're into Valorant, be in the Valorant League by tomorrow morning, I guess, because we're closing that up as well. And I was joined by Buggleberry Finn. I am Zelius. Thank you, and good night.